Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today, this way... no!
Wow.
What you'll learn is I'm bad at my job.
Terrible.
I'm bad at my job.
Terrible at the job.
So this is a very good friend of mine and a special guest. This is Drexel. Drexel and I have been friends for how long?
Okay, well, I fought you. I beat you up in 5th grade. 4th or 5th grade when I didn't know you.
That was rude.
Because everyone called you, Jason Smith called you Dick Rekieta.
Yeah.
I started calling you Dick. And I think I hit you a couple times and kicked you down.
Which is mean.
Very mean. And then I actually got to know you like 2 years later, and then we became friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as we have already started out this show on a great foot, we have a black guy on camera talking about violence against a white guy.
Yep.
Expect the police to show up and shoot someone
Triggered.
any minute.
I'm triggered. If you're triggered, just go ahead and get your trigger fingers up. We're all triggered.
So, I have invited my friend Drexel onto the stream. But yeah, we've been friends since what? You said fourth? Well, I guess friends since about junior high.
Yeah, junior high. So we're going on 20 plus years, basically in tech and days. So yeah, 20 plus years.
God, that's a long time. That is a long time. So, 20 plus years of being friends. And I decided that who better to co-host my 10,000 subscriber thank you live stream than the person who has, through no effort of his own, caused me more trouble on the internet than anybody else. And this is because, of course, as you may know, I did dress up as Drexel for Halloween, which is not okay. It is not okay to do that.
Okay.
What did you say?
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay to go blackface as a white guy.
But there's a bunch of people who've told me it's not okay.
Okay. How do we answer that? So, is it okay for the Wayans brothers to go whiteface in the movie White Chicks?
No.
Is it okay for Robert Downey Jr. to go blackface in Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
That's okay.
I only support blackface, though.
Okay.
I don't support whiteface. That's demeaning to my race.
Wow. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand, I've gotten asked this question before. So when it comes to race, there's only one race. Human. So your species, being Homo sapien, race, human, ethnicity breaks down into, are you, on the Afro side of things, are you, African descent? Are you Scottish descent? Are you, Cambodian descent? So even the term racism is kind of misleading. They need to come with some kind of ethnocentric, just like dogs. Canine would be the species, and you would say the different breed of dogs would be the equivalent of your ethnicity. So
a poodle could go in pug face.
Could, yep.
Okay. But that'd be disturbing.
It would be disturbing. It would look horrible. But you know what? We'd roll with it. We'd roll with it. For those of us who aren't soft cupcakes and snowflakes. So we'd roll.
Soft cupcakes are delicious. Okay, so we do have a couple super chats. Guys, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to have a very free-form discussion. We're going to have a very free-form discussion talking about all sorts of stuff. I'm going to ask Drexel questions about things that I don't get to experience, like being black, which I only get to experience one time ever in my life.
True.
And it was bad. It was a bad experience. It has followed me and haunted me for what? It's been 12 years now.
13. That was 2005.
No, it was 6, wasn't it?
2005.
No. Okay. I'll take your word for it. So 13 years.
Memory. So 2005, Halloween. You even had the headband. The headband.
I stole that headband from you.
You stole the headband in the SMSU days where we were both cheerleaders. So there's nothing like being
They don't know we were cheerleaders.
Oh, they don't? Oh, so we were for those of you who understand, who had girlfriends during the early 2000s and remember the movie Bring It On. Now, no disrespect to our team. Hopefully none of them are in the super chat, but that was the Bring It Off squad. Because for real, these chicks were not this. They were more, can we get a wide shot? I gotta go this way.
Yeah.
They widened out. I'm just saying. So
let's just say, for many, the freshman 15 had hit 2 or 3 times.
Oh no, they ate the freshman 15 in the first 15 minutes of college, and then they kept it pushing the whole way through. I mean, if Kleenexes, ate that. Caps, ate that. Whatever they could eat, they ate, and we couldn't lift them. We had chairs.
I literally tore my shoulder having to lift a girl.
we had our buddy John. What happened to John? Did he mess up? He had his glasses ripped off, and we threw. Did you tell them the story about what happened to poor Serenity?
No, they don't know.
They don't know anything?
They don't know any of this stuff. We talk about only serious legal topics on this channel. And
for real?
Here you are talking about cheerleading and throwing girls and dropping girls.
During a wheelchair basketball game.
We were trying to make a wheelchair cheerleading squad.
We tried to basket toss. She was my partner, Serenity.
Yeah.
Serenity Vogel. Shout out, Serenity, if you're still alive and not crippled. So we tried to basket toss a girl coming out of a timeout. One side says, don't do it. One side says, do it. We weren't loaded right. Threw up Serenity. She went...
She went over me.
Over and out, literally. Literally. And she got broke off. Because when she hit, I didn't help. Heath didn't help. You and John literally white knighted. No respect to black people. They white knighted and tried to catch her. And it didn't work out.
It didn't happen.
It was a wrap.
She hit the dirt. You've never watched the show.
Nope.
Because you're better than me.
Yep.
Which is rude also. But so one thing that we have on here is we have these chat windows I got pulled up all over the place. And we also have super chats. And super chats are where people donate money to ask a question or make a comment or make fun of me or whatever. So if we don't read them kind of as we go, it'll get a little bogged down. So I'm going to read. Right. There was one before the show, and then there's been a couple so far. So I'm going to read through those. We'll answer if there's any questions. And guys, this is a very free-form discussion, so feel free to ask questions. Both Drexel and I are open books. So you can ask us pretty much anything. That's it. So feel free to, you can make fun of me all day. I guess you can make fun of my guests, but that's rude, and I might have to throw you out like Young Bluth.
No. Go ahead. They can make fun of me. Just make sure they pay. Make sure they pay.
Oh yeah.
yeah. You can make fun of me and then just donate. Patreon.
I like this. Okay, so here we go. Ryan Malady says, would you do blackface for a role in Blacked Out? Would you do that? Would you do blackface for a role in Blacked Out?
Wait, so what is Blacked Out?
I don't know. What is Blacked Out? That I've heard of the show.
That's a show?
Hey, look, there's Larry Nassar.
Well, he's getting blackface right now. For
Blacked
real.
Out.
No, we know black something though. Blacked Out.
Isn't this a movie?
Black Call of...
Show? Blacked Out show? No, I have no idea. Oh, official sneak peek Fear Factor, hosted by Ludacris.
Oh, Jesus.
That was in 2017. That can't be what it is. What if anybody knows what the Blacked Out thing is? Please just tag me and tell me, because I have no idea what that is. But I guess it depends on the money, I suppose. All right. So Loose for Love Monkey says, now we know why you like Dick. I assume you're talking about Dick Masterson, and I don't know what that is. Mark C says, very nice to meet you, Drexel. Pony Cordero says, shekels for Drexel. That's not true. I'm not actually paying you to be here.
No. No.
Oh, Blacked Out was Denzel's script. Oh, yeah.
What?
Okay, so on the Dick Show, which is where like this whole thing started because of a podcast called The Dick Show. Okay. And do you remember a guy named Maddox? He was on the internet. He had a website called the Best Page in the Universe, and he was just this satirical comedy writer, and he would very edgy write out stuff. And then he wrote a couple books.
Never heard him.
I'll show you a picture, and you can We'll get a live reaction. Guys, he has never heard of Maddox in his life. That's not...
Why is that little boy's picture then?
Yeah.
Okay, that was... All right.
That's because Angelina Jolie's autistic son is named Maddox.
I remember that.
No, this is Maddox. This is Maddox. This is Maddox like probably 10 years ago. I need a more recent picture. But here's his logo.
The Che?
Yeah, the fake Che Guevara. It's actually his face.
Yeah, that he just...
He's Che. He's got a pirate one. This is what he looks more like now. So, on a scale... And again, oh my God. This is not useful. What? Guys, why is it so hard to find a picture of Maddox? His webpage had like 300,000 unique viewers like a day or a month or whatever back in the day. And it is really hard to find a picture of this.
Well, it's because you just typed in Maddox. You got to type in like whatever his channel was, Maddox.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
That's him?
Okay. This is a recent picture because this is one with his book. I'm not going to pull it up for the stream. So this is Maddox with his book, F** Whales. Which, not great.
Depends on what he's referring to. Like, who are the whales?
No, he's talking about literal whales.
Oh, literal, okay.
This is a comedy book. See, because it's funny. Because that's a sardine can and a whale is in it. Okay, but anyway, on a scale of 1 to soy, what what is Maddox?
Oh, no, he ain't busting no cheeks. Not with any chicks I know. No, he's not blowing any backs out. Nothing.
So Maddox, he famously punctuated his career with a video called "There's Nothing Inherently Wrong with Being a Cuck."
Wait.
Like,
Wait, hold on, man. Hold on. Hold on. There's nothing wrong with being a cuck.
Yeah, that's what he said, and he was talking about literal cuckoldry,
which I actually know about from the other side. Literally the other side, where somebody goes, "Well, I ain't gonna go ahead and demonetize you, so I'll do the PG version." So, wait, let me get my finger. So I just want to be in the corner and do this while you're with my wife with your big black beep. And I mean, you know me, I'm game. Let's go. And yeah, I mean, you know, there's these little cucks. For those of you in the lifestyle, y'all know what that means. And you show up and there's some little beta male cuck, you know, sitting in a corner. I don't know. His family jewels are on ice, or he has some porcelain mask, some other creepy stuff, white people stuff.
Wait, did they wear like a porcelain mask?
Yeah, there's some creepy stuff, man. I can tell you guys stories.
Is that you said that's white people stuff?
That's white people stuff, man. Black people you don't find too many black cuckolds.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that like there are white guys who do whiteface?
Yeah. Well, hold on now. Like the mask is clear. So
the mask is clear.
Yeah. So like there's like the porcelain white, and there's like that. It's more like translucent. So it's like here they got the little mask, almost like those Mardi Gras masks. So you got dudes that'll come out there and they'll say stuff like, you know, if I had my phone, I'd show you. It'll be like, you would get requests if you're in the lifestyle, and they'd be like, you know, me and my wife have been together for, 15 years, and I really love her. And, I mean, she's always been dreaming about a black guy. And, next thing you know, you just send the text. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and put out the public service announcement. We hit the PSA. And, yeah, you let them know. Like, here's the job to do. There's a chick that's out there. So I can tell you right now, there's nothing cool about being a cuckold.
So it's not okay. We're going to get this on the record today.
No, it's never okay.
There is everything inherently wrong with being a cuck.
Everything. There's no... If someone asks you... I want you to think about this for a second. Use logic and reason. Okay, you're a cuck. Everyone who's in the chat right now, I want you to pretend that you're a cuck. Either in front of you with your knowledge or without your knowledge. There is somebody like me just laying it down. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with someone going ahead and chopping down your wife or girlfriend or whatever, I'm okay with that. That's cool. But I want you to think, are you okay with that? If you want to be the beta male provider, because some of you may not know this, the difference between alphas, betas, zetas, omega males, and at the very top of the heap is the apex predator. But for the beta male, which is what most cucks are, they basically fund the woman's lifestyle. They provide a house for her, buy her stuff, and baby, I love you, blah, blah. But they don't please her. She's the second choice. Like that's her second or third or fifth choice. She's the guy. He's the guy that got friend zoned. He's the guy that got friend zoned back in the day, and now he finally has a chance to finally get the golden badge. And
he's in the V zone.
He's in the V zone. And so he finally thinks that he's doing something, but the whole hood ran through it already. The burbs ran through it. Wall Street ran through it. Main Street ran through it. But now you got your chance as a cuck, and you don't want that. I'll let anybody who's in the chat let you know if you want to know whether or not you're a cuck right now. If your chick is cucking you, ask for this for the males out there. What is she providing currently to the relationship other than the V? If you can't say, man, she does this for me, she does that. She bought me an Xbox One X just because she took me on a cruise or us on a cruise, just because she loves me. She gets me regular massages. She cooks. She does something of value. If you can't say that, I can promise. But you aren't having sex. This is the key. You aren't having sex with her right now. You're being cucked.
Right now.
Now.
And if you aren't doing that while watching the show, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to start giving these guys the rules, the Drexel rules on how not to be a cuck, because I don't want to see you guys go through that. Like I said, to put this in perspective, this is no lie. I wish I had the phone here to show Nick and show the audience. I will actually show while we have done things to these wives, girlfriends, everything, and while that something is going on, that dude is somewhere right now, at the grocery store, doing something for her, like, oh, babe, I was just looking at, I just want to know what time you're going to be home. When we're done with her, real talk. That's just how it goes down, man. Don't be a cuck. Just don't be a cuck.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's a bad life choice.
You've heard it here. It has taken till now to get the definitive word. Everything inherently wrong with being a cuck. Maddox. Everything. Oh,
there's a video? It says, this guy says, I'm getting a foot rub. And it says, show Drex the video. There's a video?
I mean, I could pull up the video of Maddox saying this. The Maddox.
No, video. I don't want to see his lack of self dignity.
Here, let's who's
the number one? Who's the cuck of the year right now? Is his name Boogie? Chubby white, you know what I'm talking about? Boogie, yeah. Don't be that guy when you're blaming yourself because she cheated on you, and you're saying, yeah, well, if I had just been a better man, no, that means you're a cuck. Don't be a cuck, man.
Don't be a cuck. Very, very. You're getting the life lessons. That's what I'm bringing here. Hi, Jamie Lynn Hughes. How are you? We're gonna go ahead and move on with the super chats. Oh wait, yeah. So the reason we were talking about Maddox and what a cuck he is because, okay, so
R.I.P. Boogie. Hey man, his life is over. Look, he went through a divorce. He basically gave her half. R.I.P. man.
Boogie's he shut down someone on the show called The Kill Stream the other day. This guy named V. It was wild. Like
so shut him down as in what? Like he shut down their channel?
No. Like he gave him the slapdown, the verbal slapdown on the show. It was pretty funny. Boogie kind of owned up to some bad decisions that he had made, and just this guy was kind of coming at him, and he just was like, yeah. So, what do you want me to do? All I can do is move on, and he made the guy look like a fool, and it was pretty good. It was respectable of Boogie. I don't watch Boogie. I don't know anything about him other than not in a good situation. But anyway, the reason we were talking about this is because I was telling you about how I started this show. It's because so Maddox, remember this guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, man. Look.
Here, I'll put him on. We'll put him on blast a little bit here.
Let's keep it a buck, man. Look, ladies in the live stream. This is one of the easiest ways to know if you're an alpha or beta. For the ladies in the live stream, just show that picture and say yay or nay for no money. So he's not providing you anything. So you aren't getting money out of the deal. You aren't getting a flight nowhere. Nothing. Just show that image.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. We do
If he approached you out wherever, whether you're at a bar, a club, someone's wedding, he shows up, offers for a dance. Come on, man. This dude's a cuck. Let's keep it a buck, man.
Hold on. I gotta... I'm so bad at this. I wasn't prepared at all to bring Maddox's picture up, but there we go. There he is. I don't want to do that to you. So look at that. Look at that stunning display of manliness.
Yeah, that's he's just radiating alpha energy. Nah, look, minimize him, because that's what these girls are doing. They're minimizing legs, clothes when they see that.
Okay, so and you are genuinely you have no idea who Maddox is.
Never heard of
this is the first time you've ever encountered him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Let's delete him, and maybe
please do.
Maybe he'll delete his career at some point. Okay. So here's what happens. So Maddox starts a podcast with this guy named Dick Masterson. Dick Masterson wrote a book called Men Are Better Than Women. It's a satirical book that uses feminist arguments to dispel feminism.
The Samuel Jackson Hughes.
Yeah. So Dick writes a book called Men Are Better Than Women. And then these two start a podcast called The Biggest Problem in the Universe. And each week they bring in a problem or two, and they'll argue why it's a big problem. And then the audience would crowdsource by a running vote total what is the biggest problem in the universe. Okay. So by a difference of up and down votes, you'd move up the chain. So you'd have everything from like AIDS, female genital mutilation, starvation, stuff like that, all the way down to like
female genital mutilation,
like female circumcision.
But that doesn't happen the way males do. We don't even get a choice.
No, right. But that was one of the problems that was brought into the show, for example.
Wow.
But so was dogs, monkeys, piss driblets on your pants. But the point wasn't to always bring in the biggest problem. The point was to bring in a problem. You just bring in any problem, and then it'll get ranked. And they kept a running tally of all of the problems.
Okay.
So it was a good concept for a show. It ran for 2 years. It was very funny. Very funny, these two guys. And then it suddenly ends, and they each start their own show. And then, long story short, about a year later, Maddox ends up suing Dick Masterson for $20 million.
Well, based on what?
That's a good question.
Because what's the grounds of the suit?
No one can figure that out. Not even the judge. It was thrown out of court because it's so terribly done.
Well, hold on. You have to have something written down. You can't just say, I'm suing you. Because someone's going to say, you're suing me for what? At which point you need to have...
Well, he had 13 causes of action.
Okay.
But basically, he got called a cuck a whole lot. Like, there's actually an album of music called Cuxmas Carols. And it's Santa Cuck singing... songs, rewritten Christmas carols with the word cuck in them.
Wait, hold on now.
This is a Billboard 100 charting album. I'm not even joking.
So enough people actually purchase this for it to be,
Yeah,
Nielsen or whoever tracks.
Yeah, all making fun of Maddox.
Wow. Wait, hold on now. Can you say it's making fun of someone if you yourself say, I'm a cuck and I'm proud of it?
Well, I don't know if he ever said he's a cuck. We have lots of indications that he's absolutely a cuck.
Okay.
Mainly one, look at him.
I can't look at him though.
But yeah, so he's never claimed to be a cuck, but he was tired of the alt-right. Oh, I have to ask, are you now or have you ever been a member of the alt-right? Because we're in Inquisition times here.
Oh, I don't know what... everyone has so many different definitions of what alt-right means, and for anyone who's black who's in the stream, if you don't go with the...
Do black people have YouTube?
I hope.
Okay.
No, they do, because there's a lot of ratchet stuff going on in the street, so now they do.
Yeah, World Star Hip Hop is one of my favorite things ever invented.
Real Housewives of whatever city you're in, is getting ratchet. Struggle rappers, a whole lot of things are going on. So no, they got it, but for those of you who want to know, when you hear about this whole like alt-right or or was it they call it regressive left now?
Yeah,
the regressive
or
left.
the control left. That's
control
a good one.
left. Yeah, you're trying to go this authoritarianism, things like of that manner. I mean, I think it's all ridiculous. What can I say? World star.
Well, I just have to ask, because if you're a member of the alt-right, then you, sir, are a Nazi, and I'd have to throw you out, and my arms would get tired.
They got black Nazis?
Yeah. They have. Oh, dude. They have black white nationalists.
Wow. Speaking of which, that was actually a good one of Spike Lee's rare good movies. Was Black Klansman. If you guys didn't see it, check it out. It was actually a good movie. He's terrible.
Is a black white nationalist a cuck?
Ooh. Well, it depends on if you believe in that Chappelle skit. Clayton Bigsby. Clayton Bigsby took it to the extreme, man. I mean, when the leader of the KKK, the Grand Dragon, is a blind black man.
Yeah,
that was comic gold.
All right. So anyway, once Maddox sued Dick for $20 million, I read the lawsuit. I started reading it. I was in the other room with Lady Rackets. That's my wife's code name is Lady Rackets. So we don't use
her real name.
Plenty of people probably know it, but yeah, we try to just keep that a little bit on the down low. But anyway, we're in the other room, and I start reading this thing. I get 10 pages in, and I realize this is the dumbest thing I've ever read. Dumbest legal document ever written. And so I decided to start drinking and reading it, for in front of the camera, and that's how my channel started. So that's the Maddox thing. Denzel is a side character from the Dick Show podcast. He said he could write a better movie script than Hot Tub Time Machine 2, I think.
Well, I believe that.
Well, you might believe you can, but I don't know if Denzel could. And so he wrote a script called Blacked Out, and then it was about nerds at some sort of convention, and they all get it's like the same basic premise of The Hangover. Maybe it was The Hangover 3. Maybe it was The Hangover 3. I don't know. I don't remember the story very well. But anyway, so then they had an actual producer read the script and give him notes. It was pretty funny.
And what did the producer say? It was terrible?
He gave him a lot of notes to work on. It was a first draft, and he wrote it in not enough time, and it was way too short.
Okay.
You and I have written screenplays. I have written very bad screenplays, but it's a lot of work, I think. Right?
It is. Well, in college, I think they said, don't wait till the end of the semester to do this.
And everybody waits till the end of the semester.
Everyone waits till the end of the semester. Yeah, I remember that.
It was Hangover 2. Thank you.
Oh, wait. You're being serious?
Yeah, it was Hangover 2. The guy said he could write a better script than Hangover 2.
Oh, okay. Well, you said Hot Tub Time Machine.
Well, I was wrong.
Well, both of those were terrible. Come on, man.
You get the point.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, man. You know what?
All right. So anyway, so that's the Denzel thing. That's the Blacked Out. So would I do blackface for a role in Denzel's movie Blacked Out? Probably. I mean, it's
everyone should.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. When someone cuts you a check, the question is always, are you and the audience in on the joke? If the answer is yes, for those of you who watched and enjoyed Tropic Thunder, then you should know it's okay. If both sides are in on the joke. Where if you guys want to know when is it not okay for a white person to do blackface, we're talking go back to minstrel shows and stuff, because then it's made to parody black people, like the whole Pickaninny kind of that, the image of the super dark, forward tooth, eating a watermelon and stuff. Then it's now offensive because now you're making fun of someone.
What if Ted Cruz wore blackface while killing someone as the Zodiac Killer?
But the Zodiac Killer really wasn't killing based off ethnicity.
No, but Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. I mean, he always looked like the Munster from whatever.
I think he prefers Zodiac Killer to that guy.
So Ted Cruz in blackface. Anyway, he's killing who now?
Anybody.
Okay, so
in blackface.
I
guess so. Maybe he could blame someone else.
Well, yeah,
that's a good plan.
If it works, I mean, for those of you who have heard about the killings in Chicago,
Black Killer,
Zoda Black Killer, yeah, it's. Look, hey man, look, whoever that is, who's that?
Eric Blum.
Dynamo. How did you trick a black man into visiting in rural Minnesota? It was a trick, all right. It ain't Halloween, it's trick or treat, and there's no treat, nothing but trick. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That's like I said, if people get so in their feelings about stuff, look, as long as the audience and the performer are okay and they understand it, yes, it's in good taste. No different than Robert Downey Jr., who was, if you guys remember Tropic Thunder, in the movie he was, so Robert Downey Jr. as an American actor was playing an Australian who went blackface for the role and pretended he was black. And then when everything hit the fan, he resorted back to his Australian self, even though he was, of course, a white American actor, which was brilliant. But, you know, people are triggered by everything now, so what can you say?
It was a good flick. Good flick. Okay, so back to the Super Chats. We're bad at this, but that's fine. It's fine to be bad at this. You've gotten more tech savvy. That guy looks like he is right next to you. Yeah, that's the magic of television. We actually recorded Drexel's part 2 weeks ago, and now I'm just feeding lines into whatever he was going to say.
True story.
Cormoran says, notice how Rackets is sitting closer to the camera. He's trying to use forced perspective to look as tall as Drexel. It's definitely that and not the fact that this office is an absolute disaster. And I'm trying to trick you into thinking that it's not as dirty as it is. Egavis says, blackface and you stole a headband, not okay. Yeah, I wasn't in blackface when I stole the headband, but I stole it for the purpose of the blackface. D-Ben's Drawing Vids. D-Ben's Drawn Vids. Not in blackface and later than a sorority girls period. I'm hitting the bars. Aww. See you later, buddy. I wish you would come back after you hit the bars. Whomstead says not paying him wasn't slavery made illegal. Yes, but all lawyers get an opt-out of the 13th Amendment. Bagel Goose says slavery is only illegal if you aren't a billionaire. Oh, the other day I ranted. You know, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple.
Yep.
Yeah, I spent 2 hours or so calling him a gay white slave owner because he owns more slaves than anyone probably ever, since the way Apple runs Foxconn over in China, of course. And then, of course, you've got the...
They got women jumping out of buildings, right? And falling to their death. And they have is it true they have nets?
Yeah, they put in nets.
Okay, so that was true. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, because they live at their workplace. They work like 14 hours a day.
So indentured servitude, basically.
They go upstairs and live in it's like a high rise, and they have the residential above the factory. And
they would rather jump to their death than
work tomorrow.
Than live that. Okay, so...
But they got a net instead, so then they get rolled back. Like, can you imagine the net? They roll back in.
That's terrible.
And then they go back upstairs and
right
go
back
to
to your shift.
Yeah.
Or to sleep.
Get out.
Wow.
Or get back in. Don't get out. You can't get out. No, but there was that, and then also, phones are made with... all sorts of very rare minerals and stuff that come from pretty specific places, and a lot of them are in Africa, and they have similar issues to like the blood diamonds.
Yeah.
The one I talk about a lot is because it's the one I remember is the mineral that makes the phone vibrate. Is extremely rare, and it's only found in like one specific country, which of course is run by warlords, and it's all mined on slavery. And Tim Cook is like the one guy with the power to end that by changing the materials that go into an iPhone.
I say no. At the end of the day, we as the consumer is who ends it. Because, let's face facts. If someone said...
Yeah, but you're not going to get the whole world to stop buying an iPhone.
And therein lies the point.
But Tim Cook could say, we need R&D to fix this problem.
Correct.
But he doesn't.
Of course not.
And now, let me be clear. I buy all sorts of slave-made products. I'm wearing Nikes. I've got a Google phone, which was made by Motorola. All the same stuff, right? I don't have a problem with that. My problem was that Tim Cook was out making a moral stance about Alex Jones's dangerous speech. And so...
Oh, yeah, the virtue signaling.
It's once you start moralizing to me, then we will address
correct.
Your actions.
You always open yourself up to equal attack, which is why they say don't throw stones in glass houses, because generally when someone virtue stands, and I'm sure we'll get to some Me Too talk later.
Me Too.
For everyone who knows about Asia Argento, who in one hand was, Harvey Weinstein is a monster, he needs to... And all of a sudden, you were with a minor, a 17-year-old boy that you paid off. And then...
She was just helping him out.
Yeah. The boy who played your son in a movie when he was like 6 or 7, and things got real creepy from there. Usually when whoever's grandstanding, they're usually people who have skeletons in the closet. Just a general rule of thumb. If you see someone grandstanding talking about someone else is immoral, usually just start doing some digging, and you'll find out they're they're doing a lot of foul stuff themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So then... Oh, this is back when we were when you were explaining cucks. Lucifer Love Monkey said, "You do know Maddox."
Oh, well, I mean, you know, where's this guy from?
Maddox?
Yeah,
L.A.
Hey, look, man.
You want me to show you a picture of his ex-girlfriend?
I know she's hot. Well, better looking than him. Come on, man, look at that.
Well, I mean, yeah, my surgeried knee is better looking than him. This is her. She's a. You know, it's kind of the lighting that matters, right? So this is her. This is her. But then that's also her. Which that's a goofy face. It's not really her fault. Oh, here you go. Here's Dick and Maddox, and that's not her. That must be her back there. That's Sean. Sean's a good guy. But yeah, so this is her. Now, certainly above Maddox's pay grade.
Well, look,
because I mean, like,
well, if he had as many subscribers and was as popular as you say, then in a sense, she's actually below. And if you had someone on the phone right now, a woman, and you want to know how attractive she was without knowing what she looked like, you just ask, how much does your husband make? Or your boyfriend make? Because if go look at anybody who's a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, they don't have unattractive women. You know, it's an exchange, you know.
Sure, but Maddox is... Let me explain to you. When I said he had 300,000 or whatever unique visitors to his website, this man, to be pure, decided never to monetize that. He would not put ads on his website.
Okay.
He sold T-shirts. So Maddox is 40-ish and lives in a rental house with like 4 or 5 other people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, L.A. So okay.
So Maddox is not a millionaire. He maybe actually could be if he
could
had
be. If he monetized. Not. Yeah, if he monetized, the answer is yes. With ad revenues, things like that, maybe some other appearances on something. Absolutely, could have been.
Yeah, but he's not.
Good explanation of hypergamy. Who is that?
That's Cormoran.
Cormoran. Yeah, they know. Yeah, you know, for those of you who don't know, for those, you know, we got MGTOWs, I'm sure, in the super chat, in the regular chat. Yeah, go look up hypergamy, men and women. You guys know what it is.
So that's anyway. So that's Jess. So you've never met Jess.
No.
Okay, that's good. That would have been shocking and shameful, but
and
funny,
predictable. I was in LA, you know, Jess. Okay.
Okay, so this is the guy who does my thumbnails, Tillip. He says Drex's favorite Death Grips track. Do you listen to Death Grips?
Who's that?
It's Death Grips. It's like
what kind of music they make? Sounds metal? Is
industrial rapcore, maybe?
That's a genre?
I don't know.
I mean, hey, Wu-Tang was as Death Grips as it gets. You know what I'm saying? 36 chambers. So, anybody out there who's
there are only 35 chambers.
There is no 36.
Okay, so you don't listen to Death Grips?
Nope. I'll check him out.
Yeah, he would definitely advocate for. He's a big Death Grips fan.
Okay,
and you might actually like him.
Death Grips.
I've listened to one of their songs, and it's so I've judged everything based on one song. Wow. But okay, so then Power Cage says, Nick, your Young Bluth rant was amazing. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. Siren Jag says, I can't pay to make fun of Drexel. That's wrong, man. That would make me like any number of characters in Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I guess. Although they got paid, I think. Probably not much, though. Mel Brooks didn't run big budgets.
No, he's pretty micro-budgeted.
You guys thought that was a Jew joke, but it wasn't. It was just that he made low-budget movies. Great movies. Brad Noble says, say snakes on a plane.
Snakes on a plane?
Snakes on a plane. I mean, I guess.
Well, we saw that movie, Midnight Show, back in, is that 2004? 2005?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Lakeville Theater. It was god-awful.
Aww.
And why was it awful? Because it wasn't awful enough.
Yeah, it really, they pulled too many punches.
You need, when you make a movie like that, you need to go Tommy Wiseau, The Room level bad, and just go all out and truly make an atrocious motion picture. So, yeah.
Yeah. So then Midnight Cherry TV says, sold my Maddox book to give this super chat. Congrats on 10K. Thanks, buddy. Kevin Flesher says, I was going to go to a Halloween party tonight, but here I am. And guys, yeah, thank you. And when we get done, because I'm seeing some people ask what we're talking about, when we get done with the super chats, which I just let build up too much, and this is the problem, we're going to start talking about Me Too, I think.
All right, we can get right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you guys, any topics you guys want to get to.
Yeah. So we're almost there. Bagel Goose says, "Get out the lips, Nick." And no, I actually got a nasty sore in my mouth from the lips, I think. So I have to find a way to either trim them down or sterilize them with fire or something. Chris Primer says, "I heard watermelons was one of the first crops grown by freed slaves and was a symbol of freedom." You know anything about that?
No, I could look it up. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, watermelons are grown in lots of regions, and
I tried to grow them here, and deer ate them.
Damn.
So, rude.
Damn.
Rude.
Right? Wow.
Okay, so the next was Matt Hayes 2000 says, if the majority of sex changes are non-medical required elective operations, does that make trans people overly enthusiastic plastic surgery patients, hence their social plight, a complete fraud?
Okay, so I've known trans people, worked with trans people, and all that. And one of the things that I have seen...
Do you hate trans people?
No, I'm sure people will say I do.
Uh-oh.
Just because that's the way the world is. If you aren't trans, somehow you hate trans. Or, that's kind of where we live in, but who cares? I don't. I guess it's one of those things where what I have seen is, I think part of it, I think it's twofold. One of it is self-hatred, and I think some of that self-hatred comes from gynocentrism. For those of you who know about TFM's show, Turfling and Monkey, like he had a podcast once where he talked to a trans person, and what you start to hear more often than not is, if the world wasn't so, or at least the Western world wasn't so misandric and hating of men in particular, a lot of people here, you got people who are gay men, they're hated as men, so they end up saying, well, the more I am like a woman who is the favored gender in the Western world, then I'll be accepted. But then what ends up happening is they start to go through the transition, and then once they get to whatever point, whether they're pre-op or post-op, they aren't any more accepted. And that's why, if I recall, I think the trans suicide rate is at the highest, right? In terms of rate. I think it's just like the actual ratio of trans suicide, I think, is the highest, if I recall. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's I don't know if it's the highest, but it's significantly elevated.
Significantly higher, than just genetic men or genetic women or whatever. They're up there. And obviously taking hormones doesn't help, because that obviously will cause other issues with you. You take hormones.
While we're talking about trans people, what about trans people in sports? Should they be banned?
Banned? No.
Should there just be like a
trans,
an
like
open
a separate
category, like men, women, and trans?
Well, here's the problem though. So if you have that, for those people out there who believe that gender is a social construct, anyone who believes that, I would challenge you to advocate for the UFC to have an open gender. So now, because remember, you can say, hey, this man is 135 pounds, this woman is 135 pounds. I can assure you, if Conor McGregor had hit Ronda Rousey, and they both fought at 135, 135, 145 range.
Diet, Ronda, diet.
One and done. I mean, one hit, done, over. So for those people who believe that stuff, and I think a lot of times people just say that just to be, just to kind of pull a victim card, but everyone knows it's not true. This gender is a social construct. Because if that were true, if I wanted to be trans tonight, why is it that I need to? Why are my shoulders broad? Why is it that I would?
Why
need
are your
hormones?
shoulders broad?
Genetics, and I work out.
Yeah, but I've seen your dad, and his shoulders are not. I mean, he's not a little guy, but he's not a big guy.
He actually represents the old school. So if any of you guys have seen pictures of just the average American male back, in decades past, 5'8", 10 and under. I mean, between like 5'5" and 5'10", like they weren't mutant sized the way a lot of us are now, where every guy is over 6 foot and big and muscular. Well, unless they're soy boys.
Yeah, get strong.
Get stronger, man. Get stronger. You have things to lift, heavy things. But I forgot my train of thought. Some with trans people and So the issue of gender being a social construct. Anyone who believes that, start answering logical questions such as, if gender is a social construct, why is it that someone needs hormone replacement therapy in order to try to cross over to the other gender, right? So like the what is it? Which is the one that Bruce Jenner became? Caitlyn? Is it Caitlyn? Yeah. So when Bruce became Caitlyn Jenner, it's not like Bruce woke up one day and said, "Now I'm Caitlyn."
There's a transition.
There should be a transition, right? So if the definition is it is a social construct, there should be no transition. You should just literally just say, "Now I'm a woman," or "Now I'm," people are identifying as the absence of gender means that you can now identify as a, mecha suit.
True story. At Google, there was 2 speakers, and they got mad at me for making fun of this. But one identified as a wingless golden dragon, and the other one identified as an ornate building.
Okay, I'll tell you how I'll solve that. Okay, so for those of you in the chat, if you guys want to prove my point, here's what you do. The next time that a war breaks out, and before it's always able-bodied men, right?
Yeah.
So from now on, everyone who just list everyone that's not male, and then say, because there's no genders. No, we don't want men to fight. We want, and then just start naming them off. Would you say that person claimed they'd be
an ornate building?
Yeah. So now ornate buildings have to go to war.
Not a normal building, not ornate. A plain one, not like a communist building.
Yeah. So if someone says ornate buildings must go to war and fight and die for the country, see how fast they switch. I'm not ornate. All of a sudden it changed. Look, man, you guys can all get away from this front and culture that we're in now. Just like I said, keep it real with people, and you cut through their BS, and we'll keep society going, hopefully.
All right. So we've got Turbo Donk says, Drexel, is that a Kangol hat?
It is Kangol.
If not, why not? Well, it is. Non-Lady Rackets, congrats on 10K. When are you doing the Bourbon Trail? Well, when I can get to Kentucky and have time to do the Bourbon Trail, I would love to. And I will do many videos on the Bourbon Trail if I get to make it out there anytime soon. Painful Buggery, which that does sound painful. On the subject of Tim Cook getting away with what he wants, I'm still not banned for my name or my behavior, and I'm listening to Medicare at the college I teach at without getting HR'd. That's good. That's good. Lucifer Love Monkey says, what about Iron Maiden? Do you like Iron Maiden?
Not a metal guy. I'm aware of Iron Maiden. I listened to rap back when it was good, rock back when it was good, pop back when it was good. I know a lot of people don't believe pop was good, but for the Michael Jackson fans out there and things of that nature, pop actually used to be creative. Not anymore.
Did Michael do it?
Oh, with the
kids,
the children,
or the kid, the one kid, right? It's just the one kid.
He got accused multiple times.
I thought it was the same kid.
No. He's had multiple cases, different kids. Here's the best answer I can give to that. When people say, "Did Michael do it?" ask yourself this question. Yes or no, would you leave your children alone with Michael Jackson in Neverland? Yes or no? Would you? You got boys. Would you? Michael's going to keep them for a full week, 7 days.
I wouldn't leave my children with any man.
There you go. Or woman.
Yeah.
Anybody. I'm not leaving my
unless I know them very, very
close. Yeah.
Right.
They're relatives or something. Family
usually.
Or very close. When you're saying, hey, you're going to like the amusement park with them or something.
Right.
Not they're staying over at a place with little animals and stuff. And nah, man, come on.
I don't think Michael did it.
Well, here's the thing. I defended Michael for quite some time. And I don't know if any of you guys in the chat heard about, they released the documents that the DA, I guess, was sitting on, or what was
that? But do you trust DAs?
I don't trust DAs in general.
Why don't you trust DAs? Is it because they're all white?
No, there's black DAs too, man, or those who identify as, I don't know what they identify as now, but they're all snakes to me. Part of a system that is very repressive.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So let's save that one. Sorry, yeah. I shouldn't have brought that into it. I've got a video for you to watch about Michael, though. I think it's an interesting perspective from a guy called Razor Fist.
Razor
who
Fist.
Razor Fist is a dear friend of mine, even though I've never met him and never talked to him. But when we do talk, we'll be dear friends.
All right.
But no, it's good. It's good.
Preemptive friendship. I like that.
Yeah. Razor, we'll talk. Okay, so Death Grips, from Kevin Flesher, Death Grips, The Money Store is their most accessible album for new listeners.
All right, I'll
Okay, Cormoran says, you'll never get done with the Super Chats. That's a good problem to have. Brad Noble says, hell yes, round for that. I don't know, I don't remember what he said that to. I saw it when it happened, so yeah. Tillip says, The Money Store is the first album Fantano gave a 10. Anthony Fantano, have you heard of him?
No.
Okay, he runs a YouTube channel called The Needle Drop, like millions of subscribers. He reviews music.
Okay.
I was actually on his show a while ago, before my channel was even.
Where's he from?
I don't know.
Based out. Okay, so.
But
how much music out there is being released now that is actually like engaging, like good music? Because what I've heard, the genre, like I don't listen. Like I said,
I still just listen to Stone Temple Pilots.
Really?
That's it.
Wow, wait, that's old school.
Scotty Weiland died. I gotta.
I do remember that. Yeah. That's actually the very first album, Core, STP Core, back in '93. Was the first album I remember getting at Fleet Farm. Crazy. I know, right?
Okay, so Bagel Goose says, "Do it, Nick. You're my paid monkey. Now dance." I guess we're white guy dancing.
Hey man, look, you gotta be.
I learned from Will Smith how to white guy dance.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah,
Hitch.
Yeah, in Hitch. Yeah.
So Bagel Goose says, please. Poor unhappy Pierre says, would you leave your kids with Drex? Well, I mean, I don't know if I don't like to leave my kids with anybody because it's 5 kids. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
But kids, yeah, I would trust Drexel with my children. How's that? Is that a good answer for you? And then Cormoran says, does Drexel know of and can he explain Talcum X? Who is Sean King? You know Sean King?
Is that the white guy who?
How dare you? How dare you call him white?
Kind of remember something. He identifies as black, right?
Look at how black Sean King is. What are you talking about?
Who's? Okay, let me see. I kind of vaguely remember.
I gotta get a better.
I don't think that's him. Is that?
That's Sean King. Oh yeah, that's absolutely Sean King.
Oh, okay.
He's like a journalist, and he is black according to him.
Yeah, he's a biracial kid, obviously.
Is he? I don't know that he is.
I'm looking at that picture. Like I said, now obviously, like I said, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but how in certain pictures someone looks one way and another picture look another way. Just like what was his name that was in the Shaft remake? Jeffrey Wright was playing Peoples, who was Latino gangster. So it happens where Al Pacino is played as an Italian, played in Carlito's Way, was playing Puerto Rican.
Well, Sean King plays as a black journalist.
But plays as, or is he a black journalist?
He's a journalist
who
writes about black issues and says he is black. Like, that's...
Okay. I mean, look, is this another Rachel Dolezal, who I still think...
No, he doesn't say he's transracial.
Oh, okay. Because Rachel Dolezal deserved the Nobel Peace Prize, man. That is so the definition of...
so you like Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah. Here's what I like about Rachel Dolezal.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll take flack for this.
Yeah.
I don't care. So, for those of you who understand the term paradox, Rachel Dolezal, by definition, is a living paradox.
Right.
So the idea of someone saying like, white people don't care about issues in the black community, blah, 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 blah. So this is a white woman who got further in her life and career by pretending to be a black woman. So I want you to think about the nature of a paradox. You are a white woman who got further by masquerading as a black person.
Right.
And you were able to get more done as a black person because you were discriminated against by the NAACP for being white.
Yeah. White or white?
White.
White. Okay.
Because you saw the pictures of her pre-perm.
Pretty white.
She was white. I mean, white. So, she actually looked like the chick from, what was that movie, the Wayans Brothers, Don't Be a Menace. At the very end, he's like, excuse me, my beautiful black Nubian queen.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, he's like, Get that white girl over there.
Yeah.
That's what Rachel Dolezal looked like, the real version of her. I mean, that was
that girl
ridiculous.
was whole milk white.
Oh, look, I thought black people weren't allowed here.
No, black people are so allowed here that I dress up as black people, apparently. Oh, so that's another thing. Maddox says that he called me a blackface lawyer and said that I go around in blackface. So that was a good couple minutes of YouTube, because as you know, the blackface picture was from well before I was a lawyer.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, when Nick and I went to college together in rural Minnesota, I was actually allowed back then in rural Minnesota.
It was quota. You were a quota.
2004. I was sure I was a minority quota. 2003, 2004. And that picture was taken 2005, Halloween time. So for anybody out there who's questioning, when I was rocking the fro and stuff, anyone out there who's questioning when was that taken, 2005. So if anyone out there who's saying you're on some new tip, whatever it is you're doing,
so I have to
Drexel Dolezal.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, she's a paradox. What can I say? Like
Are you familiar with Papa Nurgle?
Who's that?
Nurgle is one of the chaos gods from Warhammer 40k. He's the god of pestilence and plague and decay.
Okay, so it sounds like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's loosely modeled on some of the medieval Christian stuff.
Jared Taylor? Why does that name sound familiar? Who is that?
Jared Taylor. He's an ethno-nationalist, I believe.
Look, man, we're getting out of bounds.
We're
with all
way
these
off.
terms.
Yeah, well,
I don't even know what these. I mean,
I think he defines himself that. Hold on, I don't want to misquote him.
Jared, let me see what he looks like.
Jared Taylor, this guy, Japanese-born American white supremacist.
You know what? Okay. Look, now I don't know the story, so I can't say anything about that. All I'm saying is this: if you want to prove how ignorant racism is, I ask everybody in the chat to remember this. In a post-apocalyptic world, for those of you who are familiar with, like the Fallout games or The Walking Dead, when there's a zombie apocalypse, The Last of Us. In a post-apocalyptic world, Nick, everyone in the chat, what does no one care about? Sexuality. No one cares about it, right? No one cares about your ethnicity. They don't care about your, how you identify. What do they care about? Are you on their side, and what can you produce?
And do you have any bullets?
Do you have bullets? Do you have Do you have resources that can help us? So for anyone out there who's thinking, and that's kind of like the George A. Romero dead movies of someone saying, in this kind of environment, it's about survival. Either you're the living or you're the dead. So, yeah, give all that a rest. All these people that claim to be a white nationalist this or black nationalist that, kill that noise, Jack.
So and I don't know, like there are people who will defend Jared Taylor and say that's not actually his position, because like you said, we're quick as a society to throw labels on things. That was our first look at Wikipedia. I don't listen to Jared Taylor. If he argues for ethno-nationalism, I've been very open. I'm not a nationalist, much less an ethno-nationalist. So, and that's fine if people are. I see the reasons for nationalism in various aspects. I just don't think long-term that it's a proper plan. That's my opinion. I do need to call out something real quick. Keck7Go sent me this beautiful Kasku. I can't pronounce it because it's Finnish. Kasku gin. It's very good. I was drinking that earlier. I forgot to mention that's what I was drinking. Thank you, Keck. That was a gift he sent me for 10,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. Nice. Keck7Go, which one of you is better at Battletoads?
Wow.
Well, I mean you, because you
I played it more.
And you play the Klinger Winger.
Yeah. So player one. So anyone out there, I guess this is going to be a secret. Now it's going to be a lot less known. For anybody who wants to know if someone is fake or not, when they say they beat Battletoads 2-player, because it's one of the rare games that's harder 2-player than 1-player. If someone says, "Oh yeah, man, we did it, yeah, we beat Battletoads," go like this. Hey, man, how'd you beat the Klinger Winger? We just beat it. They're lying. The only way to beat the Klinger Winger, because player 2 cannot move, is that player 2 has to die, and player 1 has to beat the Klinger Winger, and then player 2 re-enters on level 12, which is the Dark Queen's Tower. So for those of you who wish to know that, because I'm sure Battletoads has probably come up on your channel before.
Yeah, well, and you have to budget the 1-ups for the first player, because they need.
Yep.
Because the second player is gonna lose them. You burn and continue.
Yep.
Period.
Automatic burn.
So Drexel had always played more Battletoads than me. So the Clinger Winger was his gig, and he can have it. He can have it. I never won it.
The Clinger Winger. Oh my goodness. These people actually know about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So okay, so let's talk Me Too.
All
Hashtag Me Too, because we're actually caught up in the chats, which is great.
All right.
Which is great.
Me Too. All right.
So let's see. How do we approach this topic?
Okay, let's go to the origin. The origin of Me Too is actually not this past October.
Really? What? Oh, that was a dog. Its tail was hitting the door, so it sounded like someone knocking.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the player 2 dies, you start over.
On the Clinger Winger, yeah, player 2 dies enough to where player 2 has to actually
die off the game.
Die off the game, not continue. Then player 1 beats the Clinger Winger level, and then player 2 jumps back in for the final. This final level after that.
Final
right?
level, yep.
Yeah.
Level 12.
So that's the Clinger Winger.
So Me Too.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Me Too started.
Okay, so
okay.
For those of you who know, Me Too started a woman named, I believe it's Tarana Burke, and she started it with raising awareness about the sexual misconduct and assaults in the black community primarily. And let's not forget that movement actually started like 10 years ago. So anyone out there who thinks it's new, like, oh, this just came out of nowhere. Me Too is an old movement that a lot of people didn't know about. The reason it gained national prominence is when Alyssa Milano, who's a Hollywood actress, took it and ran with it by saying, hey, if anyone has been, sexually assaulted or, had whatever these sexual issues are, hashtag Me Too.
Right.
And then that's when people start coming out of the woodwork, and that's when the Harvey Weinstein thing came out with Ossie Argento and Rose McGowan, all that stuff. Now, for those of you who know about most movements in general, most movements, similar to that old, I think it's like an old Bible thing where they say, the road to hell is often paved with good intentions. Me Too, I'm sure, when Tarana Burke started years ago, had good intentions, and now we see how it has gone completely off the rails with baseless accusations. And for those of the women out there in the chats, if there's also a hashtag, believe the women or, something like that.
Statistically, I think there's 2.
Two what?
Women in the chat.
Oh, okay. So
3 maybe, if Lady Rekieta is still watching.
Okay.
but that's okay.
But if everyone here knows women. You came from a woman. So for anyone in the chat out there who's saying, support, believe the women, things like that, always remember this. There's always a flip side to the coin. So it's very similar for those, if we have some of the people who are either black or very familiar with Jim Crow. It's a gynocentric Jim Crow is what Me Too has been transformed into, unfortunately, in terms of it's almost like the boy who cried wolf. So like the woman who accused Emmett Till,
hi Shelby,
all those years ago, and then on her deathbed said, I made it up. Well, Emmett Till's dead. You can't bring him back.
Right.
So what you're seeing with Me Too now is people are just Me Tooing people. Like, if you don't like the person, Me Too them. If you did something with them in the past, and like now, what is it? With all these Title IX changes, you can rescind consent after the fact. So you hooked up on January 1st. Well, on February 3rd, you can say, well, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to Me Too, which is basically what you're doing. You're Me Tooing the person. And now they're at a campus tribunal, and it's very autocratic, and they are removed from campus. So you can start to see the issue with that. And like I said, if the ladies that are in the chat, if they were still there, that could be your son or your brother or your father or, your cousin, whoever, your nephew. A male can get Me Too'd at any moment. And if anyone in the chat is from Canada, I don't know if you guys know, there's something coming to Canada, C-51. It's a bill that is going to take Me Too to the next level, which states you can't use documentation, whether it be, text, email, all that. You can't use that as defense in your defense in a criminal accusation or civic accusation of sexual assault. So that means you could be with a woman, well, assumably a woman, obviously you could be Kevin Spacey. You could be with a woman. You guys, it was consensual. The text showed that it was consensual.
We're going to talk Kevin Spacey in a second, but yeah, go. Sorry.
The text showed that it's consensual. Whether you have pics, video, whatever. Then later on, when you get Me Too and you show up to court, you go, "Oh, I got this in the bag. My texts prove it. My text, my video, everything proves that I'm innocent of these charges." That won't be allowed. So yeah, look it up. See,
it
passed. Oh yeah, Trudeau. Who is that?
Good job.
Abyssus. Oh, so it passed. Oh wow, yeah. So
Good job, Canada.
I'm sure everyone, the men in Canada, man, go MGTOW monk.
I have to.
Real talk.
I have to address something because I neglected to laugh at. Yeah, actually, I laughed, but I didn't read the Lady Rackets' joke earlier. Lady Rackets is my wife.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because my nickname is Rackets.
That's right.
So she said she knew I would get an STD from those lips. And just so you know, they're right there. They're on that bottle.
Oh.
So,
look at that.
I'll tell you about those lips.
Wow.
So they're clearly, they have a medical purpose. And the medical purpose is there's this guy who has sued Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry.
I heard about that dude.
Russell Greer is his name.
He's like the virgin, right? A virgin who was on one of those shows. Is that what his deal was?
He has something called Mobius syndrome, so his mouth can't close. So he talks like this.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
And like drinking is very difficult. I tried it. But
wait,
so he wrote a book called Why I Sued Taylor Swift, and sometimes I get a female comedian named Sriracha on, and we read chapters of his book, and because he's a paralegal, but he's like the worst paralegal ever, and so
but he was on a talent show, right?
He tried to get on America's Got Talent. They threw him off, and then he basically said they were disability discriminating against him.
No, you can't sing.
Not the fact. Yeah. Oh,
you just have no talent. Yeah.
Oh
okay.
Man. Russell's your dude, though. He got thrown out of the Bunny Ranch. He got banned.
Hold on. No, real talk. I think Lamar Odom did too after he had a coma. But how do you get thrown out of the Bunny Ranch, though?
Just a second. Real Lady Raggeds, they are showing up, and I meant to I meant to mention it before. Bless you. I meant to mention it before, but I got sidetracked and then lost track of time. Sorry. But yes, they are showing up. I see you, girl. Anyway, he got thrown out of the Bunny Ranch because he bought the girlfriend experience. So he took the girl like outside of the Bunny Ranch to a nice restaurant or whatever, and then they went back to the Bunny Ranch to finish the deal, and she didn't love him. Hey, I'm just telling you the truth.
You paid for the girlfriend experience, not the happily ever after experience.
No, he thought that he would woo and marry her.
No, you went to a brothel for love. Now, for everyone in the chat, don't go to a brothel for love. That's how you wind up being a cuck. So for anybody out there who's still wanting to be a cuck, just go to the Bunny Ranch looking for love, man. Real talk, man. Don't do that, man. Don't look for love in a brothel. Come on.
Okay, so the Me Too. Sorry, we tangent a lot on the show, and this is how we talk anyway, so that's fine. Let's see. There were three. Let's do these super chats because I broke the pace anyway. Cormoran says, "Pound me too, pound me too." That was, I think, when you were hitting the desk. Tillip says, "Is Malcolm Gladwell also transracial?" I
never heard of Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, he's great writer. He was a columnist for the New Yorker for a long time. He also wrote Outliers, which is a fantastic book. I'll lend it to you.
Yep.
You'd love it. It's about like the cream of the crop and all of the other stuff that got them there, other than just their hard work. Like, he acknowledges the hard work that Bill Gates put in, for example, but he also talks about the just wonderful situation that Bill Gates was able to take advantage of through his hard work. That, like,
You do create your own luck. You do create your own fortune to a large degree. So
yeah, but for example, one of the things he brings up is Canadian hockey players. Canadian hockey rosters have 40% of their roster's birthday concentrated within 3 months. All the teams. And it's because that's the day after the cutoff. So the kid who's the day after the cutoff date, as a kid, will be the biggest kid statistically. Because he'll be a year older than the kid who's at the cutoff date. So the kids who are the day after the cutoff date and then the next 2 months are bigger than all the other kids. And when the kids are all young and have no skill, the coaches who for the higher ranking teams come in and just pick the most physical kids.
True.
And so then they get better coaching, they play better opponents, and so on, so on, and so on.
Fair enough.
So you have standouts who can still make it on their talent, but the kids who have who are just happen to be born during this 3-month window get a better opportunity, and there's no real way around it. Same thing with American baseball. It's a different month, but it's the same principle. And so then he talks about Bill Gates and basically how when Gates was in high school, his mom enrolled him in this computer club with a bunch of other upper middle class moms. They had a computer club, and these kids got mainframe time from IBM.
Yep, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, because one of the mom's husbands worked for IBM, and he said, we just need someone to test software.
Yep.
So by the time Bill Gates graduates high school, he's got thousands of hours of coding experience that kids coming out of college didn't even have.
Yep.
So it's basically that type of stuff, and that's what Outliers is all about. It's a great book. Anyways, Gladwell, he's very light-skinned, but I think he actually has... I think one of his parents is black, and I heard that Sean King's parents were both white, so I don't know. I don't think he's actually transracial, although he does like to run a lot, so maybe. Keck7Go says, also more importantly, how good of a job did Nick do with his costume of you? To me, now that I see you, he wasn't close with his Jersey Shore smeared poo-poo on his face look. That's all, happy 10K. And that was the joke, right? It was like the worst job.
It's meant to be a patch job.
Yeah, and guys, I didn't just dress up as Drexel. I also dressed up as Britney Spears one year. And the whole idea was like at the last second, I would throw together the worst costume I could. So that was like worst executed costume. So it was a running gag. Mithran Emrys says C51, a.k.a. the Gomeshi rule.
Oh, so it has a name now. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, for those of you in the chat, if you guys plan on going to Canada or, you talk to some girl in Canada, whether online or in person, know the law, man. Real talk. You guys go there doing something, and that's even worse than Me Too. Is the C? You don't want to get C51. Pound Me Too is bad enough. You get C51. Some I'm gonna handle this. Watch this. And you pull out all these. So for those of you in the chat, did you hear about the case in, I believe it's UK or Scotland, part of the UK still, where the kid had 40,000 texts that exonerated him? Did you hear about that case?
Nah.
For those of you in the chat, just Google 40,000 texts rape, and that story will pop up. And if you guys can put the kid's name up, or just like the case, or put a link in the description. So that guy, I want you to think about this. A guy who had 40,000 texts between he and his accuser, he's a college kid, by the new standard in Canada, C51, he'd be in prison right now, still. Because this guy spent, I believe it was 2 years in prison in the UK. So if you guys have heard about that, see, look, text 40,000K. You just Google 40,000 texts rape, and the story will pop up. Terrible story. But so anyone plan on going to Canada, watch out. C51, man. Know the laws where you're going. For anything, though. I'm sure. So, Nick, you being a lawyer, I'm sure you've dealt, in the family law system. People ask you, like, oh, yeah, I'm dating this girl. So know what you're getting into. Because for those of you, dealing with, common law marriage or division of assets, things can affect you because you didn't, for those of you who didn't read The Art of War, things can affect you by not taking proper precautions. So if you take those proper precautions and say, okay, I need to know the laws of where I'm going to be at and how it will affect my life and my lifestyle choices. That's just something to kind of keep in mind. Oh, is that the guy?
Isaac Itery.
Isaac, yeah, okay, yeah. Canadian thoughts, yeah. Hey, man.
Be gone, thought.
Hey, man. Zip, zap, be gone, thought.
Okay,
You know?
so Mithrin Emrys also says, with the Sixth Circuit declaring due process has to apply in Title IX investigations, there's a chance to restrain Pound Me Too.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. That would be good. So let's get back to Me Too, though.
Okay.
So the Me Too movement. This is my take, as lukewarm or hot or whatever as it is we've gone from just saying that a dude is slimy to a dude is criminal.
Yep.
And Harvey Weinstein, depending, I don't even know. Like I lost track of all of the accusations.
Yep. One of the charges just got dropped. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah. So for those of you in the chat, I don't know how many of you guys can probably give like a thumbs up or heard about it or something to say.
You can press 1 if you've heard about Harvey Weinstein.
So one of the sexual assault charges was dropped because the investigator helped the accuser delete text off her phone. Now, obviously, that's ridiculous because you can subpoena. The feds can go and know what you put even if you delete it. So for those of you who just delete something, they can still get access to that. Yes, Harvey Weinstein, one of his accusers was... investigator was like basically coached her on how to, how to get this conviction. Yeah, see, people are saying one. They
well, Moon Man did several times.
Moon Man, yeah, okay, so notorious Moon Man, yeah. And for those of you, if you think about this for a second,
Rajveer, thank you.
That is that's a dangerous precedent that people are setting, and men and women. Sean Penn talked about it. It's dividing men and women, and.
I think Sean Penn divides men and women.
Well, I mean, he ain't got the most attractive mug. I'm just saying, but still a really good actor.
I liked him in Mystic River.
Excellent movie.
Yeah,
I liked him in The Real Bad Boys, not that Martin and Will one.
Was he in 21 Grams also? No, 21 Grams is someone else.
Naomi Watts and some other people. Edward
of course,
Martin.
You'd only remember the women.
Yeah, I mean, hey. And, well, okay, so back to Me Too. So it is now used in a way very similar to what was happening to blacks during the Jim Crow era, which is when listen and believe becomes the standard instead of due process, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, man, woman, trans, black, white, understand the magnitude of that. Because what will end up happening is it's similar to The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So people will divide. That's the first thing in order to not get Me Too. Like, hey, no more. And for those of you in the chat, if your workplace has canceled like office Christmas parties or anything, I don't know, put a 1 or something if that has happened, because it's happening, man. I hear from a lot of people.
And if they're still holding them, don't go.
Don't go. Yeah, alcohol served. The genders, commingling, things happen. Rest in peace, Emmett Till. Like. It's gynocentrism. If you understand the nature of gynocentrism and listen and believe as a standard, that was no different than in the Jim Crow era. What would happen is you have the Klansmen became the enforcement tool to listen and believe. So if you stepped out of line as a black man, that's why that term eyeballing a white woman. If a black man was just happened to have his, you just happen to be in that view, that frame of view, and the happy white man, she just basically that was the equivalent of Me Too. Like, he eyeballed me, he was looking at me, he was harassing me. Well, you had no rights, and you would go in, and if you did go to court, you were going to lose. Obviously, you were never tried amongst a jury of your peers, and if for whatever reason it didn't go to trial or anything, you had the KKK burning crosses, hanging people, lynching people. So understand that in a system of listen and believe instead of due process, that means by definition anyone can Me Too. And I actually read a story where the male at a college Me Too the female because he was like, I would rather, they always tend to believe whoever accuses first.
Right.
So what they do is they say, so if you have a sexual encounter on a college campus, what people are doing now is they're like, I better run to the college first and go, yeah, sexual assault, especially if there was alcohol involved. Yeah, I was blackout drunk, Me Too. So now the college will protect that first person, and now the burden of proving innocence beyond a reasonable doubt that you're not, that you didn't do it. Okay, did you have sex? Yeah, but can you prove it's consensual? Well, we were both drinking, and there you go.
Yeah.
That can affect men and women. So now You will see a change in a gynocentric system. If you guys want to know how you see change, when something affects women, it will change. So for anyone out there who says, well, how do we move past this? There you go.
Yeah, and okay, so the question that I have then...
Black Dad and Chad. Chad and Tyrone's out there, yeah.
The question that I have then is, okay, so with the history of the disproportionate treatment of black men in rape charges coming up into the civil rights movement, after the civil rights movement, I mean, down in the southeast states, of course, all the South states, but primarily this happened, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah.
You would have a black man being charged with rape being put to death
Yep.
if the rape was a white woman.
Yep.
But if you had a white man being charged with rape of a white or black woman, he might get 6 months to a year in prison.
Yeah, much more lenient sentence.
Right. Okay, so that's the history.
Mm-hmm.
Is Me Too more dangerous now for black men than white men? I mean, because the high-profile cases have been like Harvey Weinstein for the most part. You've got Kavanaugh, of course, getting Me Too'd, but outside of the court system. Bill Cosby, kind of a Me Too, but then, he did it.
So for those of you who remember Barbershop, when said it was OJ did it, and well, one of the things that, like, to go back on your point, I want you guys to kind of think about this for a second. So we're in a situation where, if the question is it worse for blacks? Here's a general rule of thumb. If you're viewing Me Too from the lens of gynocentrism, Me Too of the former era, of an era in the past, was Jim Crow. So it was listen, believe was the standard, right?
Right.
Just like, and I saw someone in the chat say Salem witch trials. Very similar. When did the Salem witch trials stop? Do you know when it stopped? A lot of people don't remember when it stopped. They just remember that there was Salem witch trial. Yeah, people were just being accused. That's a witch. That person's evil. And they were being hung, burned, whatever, right? And that was white people too. And someone goes, when did it stop? Do you know when it stopped? When high-profile people were being accused. Governors, just like what you're seeing with Me Too starting to fall apart between the Ossie Argento thing, Rose McGowan caught with coke and then blaming it on Harvey Weinstein, as if that makes sense. You're seeing Me Too fall apart because, remember, Al Franken was basically Me Too'd, right? For an inappropriate picture he took.
Yeah.
But remember, Donald Trump has been accused.
Yeah.
So President Trump has been accused, but he's still the president.
Yeah.
He didn't lose his job. Brett Kavanaugh was, that with Christine Blasey Ford. So what you're seeing is, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, if you believe her or don't believe, or whatever, understand this.
Don't believe her.
If you wind up in a situation where someone is saying, listen and believe, and think about this for a second. Supreme Court Justice, President of the United States, they were accused, they have their job.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, as a movie producer, you remember, and that was at the beginning. Always understand when you get accused does matter. The beginning of something, the middle of something, or toward the end of something. So Harvey Weinstein was kind of like the kickoff for the modern era Me Too. So a lot of those guys went down. Matt Lauer. But you notice there are lots of entertainers, and do you notice that who these men are? They're men with means.
Yeah.
They're men that after you Me Too them, the next step is taken to civil court.
So I get to do the obligatory joke then?
What's that?
Well, then it can't be black people?
Men with means. I mean, there's some brothers out there with money and they're losing it. I mean, they're losing it on Kardashians and baby mama drama. I mean, I hate to admit it. But, I mean,
Are Kanye and Kim breaking up?
No, that was.
I saw some rumor about it.
It was a bogus story.
I don't follow these people.
They're threatening legal action, from what I heard.
Okay.
We had a fake Me Too thing here in Australia with Don Burke. Turns out he was going around for 30 years trimming women's gardens, then trimming women's. Wow. Men with memes. Yeah, there's a lot going on out there, and like I said, what you're starting to see is, right here in Minnesota, Keith Ellison, basically was since Me Too. His was more of like domestic violence, I believe.
Yeah. Oh,
now,
also he's a dirtbag.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Well, I mean, that's just a side point.
Oh, that's the side.
I mean, I don't know. I don't care about the allegations. Keith Ellison is a dirtbag. I just want to be on record with that.
Just because he's brown skinned.
Yeah, that's.
What do you mean by dirtbag?
That's why.
So,
no.
So with a lot of these things, and if for those of you who don't know about what happened with Keith Ellison, you had a situation where his girlfriend at the time wouldn't leave the house, if I recall. That was kind of like the story. She was in the house, wouldn't leave the house. And then allegedly it was a domestic violence issue. And apparently the son says he saw his mom being, I guess, thrown on the bed, like some form of physical altercation happened.
Sure.
And they have video. So when someone says, you have video, everyone says, produce the video. And do you know what their response was? We're going to wait till the midterm.
Yeah.
When you try to weaponize, whether it be information or accusations or anything, you start to lose your credibility, because if something were real, you would have, first of all, where's the police report? The easiest way to come up with these Me Too things, first question, where's the police report? First thing. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, trans, anything, I don't care. Where's the police report? If people start hitting you with accusation after 30 years, anyone in this chat right now, I'm sure, has done something in their life that could have been a Me Too moment.
Except for the betas. Except
for the betas. Well, they're usually the ones doing the most dirt. And if any of you guys saw that recent video, did you see that? Where it was an 8 or 9-year-old black boy. His book bag hit a lady, like brushed against her.
Yeah.
Her butt. And she Me Too'd him. Called the cops and made this huge scene.
Did they do him like Emmett Till?
They did not. He's still alive, thankfully.
Good.
And this lady, I guess now she's playing the victim of being like, well, I got death threats from blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you called what could have happened? And, if the cops did show up and all shit in the old standard in the Jim Crow era, point, which is what happened to Emmett Till. You just point. So, man, when I was a teenager. Yeah, it's very dangerous. So like I said, what a lot of guys are doing is they're just avoiding women. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been out there in the world. Nick is a married man, me as a single man. We live in the same world but different worlds at the same time. And I'm starting to see it. I have seen with my own eyes people starting to just ghost women in plain sight. And I've talked to a lot of women who say that they're getting nervous because the marriage rate, I believe, is at a 120-something year low in America. The fertility rate is at a 93-year low. So now what you're seeing is...
And that's with us letting the gays marry.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to help your fertility rate. It's
No, I meant with the marriage rate.
Oh, the marriage rate, yeah. So I don't know if they had married. I don't know if they meant only heterosexual marriage, but marriage has plummeted.
I just wanted to say the gays.
The gays. So...
Because this is the offensive stream.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, it's what's going on out there. So for those of you who know what's going on out there, you have a situation where marriage rate all-time low, fertility rate dropping. So if anyone out there is in the chat and knows, I believe in most of the Western world, Canada it's happening, Australia it's happening, Sweden is on the verge of collapse, Greece will collapse. So a lot of this we'll see in our own lifetime. And it's all for various reasons. But when gender roles start getting out of balance, this is what happened. Chaos ensues. It's how Rome fell. It's how Greece fell. The Mayans. The last stage, there's 7 steps for civilization. And we're at stage 6, which is decadence. And after decadence is invasion. And for those of you who are familiar with what's happening in Sweden, Sweden is right now on the cusp between 6 and 7. And it will happen.
So you're for the migrant issues in Europe. You think that that's good for them, bringing in all the migrants?
No, that's not going to be good.
That was a joke.
Yeah, that's not going to be good at all, man. Not if you want your culture to survive, your people to survive. And that's not a black-white thing. It's not a whatever thing. Always remember this. Regardless of how you feel about person A or person B, you still have to preserve your country, your way of life, your culture. It's okay to be inclusive to a degree.
But we should be assimilative, right? We should assimilate people into... That's the idea when you move somewhere. Is if I want to move to Japan, it's because I want to eat ramen and watch anime all day. Because that's Japan, as far as I can tell. Oh, and also like with really interesting ideas about the relationships between men and women. Japan.
Well, hold on now. Have you heard what's been going on in Japan?
Wait, no. I mean, all I've ever heard of is the funny stuff. So what's the real stuff?
It's no laughing matter, man. If anyone in the chat knows about what's happened in Japan, the herbivore male. Yeah, they took MGTOW monk to the extreme. I don't think you know how bad it is. They're about to, so within 100 years they'll be gone. Literally gone.
Oh, someone was saying that Japan is having they're going to have more elders than
So what's happening in Japan is you have this many people. I gotta go this way. So you have this many old people.
Japan will let me in. I almost said
now remember though, but for those people who are ethno-nationalists,
right?
There are like I've heard of white supremacists and these types of people talking about how Japan is a gold standard because look, Japan is very xenophobic,
horrifically.
Yeah. Very. So people who think that's the answer. Here's what ends up happening with a place like Japan. Xenophobic or not, what you're going to see is Japan has a situation where you have all these old people, and they're just getting older. Now they have robots. The automation has to now make up for the fact that there's more women in the workforce, and the men are just doing this, shrinking of doing what? Relationships. Marriage. No, they don't want marriage. They don't want kids. So now they're like, you know what? No, forget it. They're not even engaging in relationships with women. So your society will collapse. So for anyone out there in the chat who's aware of what's going on in Japan, Japan hates foreigners. The herbivore male, and there's a term for the women in Japan called, I think it's like a dead fish woman. If you guys want to Google that and correct me, way too much soy in the Japanese diet. It's very like and for people out there in the chat, I want them to understand when you see something going on somewhere in the world and you think, I don't care, it doesn't affect me. All of us on planet Earth are interconnected. So I had a guy tell me that he didn't care about what was going on in Venezuela. Because you're aware of what happened in Venezuela, right?
Oh, Venezuela is a shining paradise.
Shining paradise of socialism, and it completely, the bottom fell out, complete collapse. Just Google Venezuelan women prostitutes. So the women who were doctors, teachers, lawyers of yesteryear are now forced into prostitution.
So is it better to have a smart prostitute or not, though? Like a highly qualified one? Can you be overqualified to be a prostitute?
You can never be overqualified. You can be underqualified.
Yeah, I think that's true.
If you're at the bunny ranch or something's going down. The blessed in Japan don't date robots. Young Samuel Jackson. The robots are coming. I just saw a show. I think it's called a Slutiver or something like that. Some lady. It's on Vice.
What do you watch?
Well, it was recommended to me by a woman, ironically enough, and I saw it, and she. Oh, it's Tuna Women. Yeah, Dead Fish Women. Yeah, Tuna Women. And so back to what happened in Japan. We're all interconnected, regardless if you're black, white, brown, blue, whatever you identify with. Everyone on Earth is interconnected. So sometimes when something horrible is happening somewhere, you just think, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It will eventually affect you. So like I remember there was a time when people, especially white Americans, looked at the black community and kind of turned their nose up by saying like, well, those are black people problems with single motherhood and all that stuff. But what are you starting to see now, Nick? What are you seeing as especially as an attorney? You're seeing more when you like. Obviously, I don't believe your children are in public school. You go to a public school.
Thank God.
A feminist indoctrination program. When you go out into the world, look around you. You see nothing but all these single mom epidemic. I believe it's like something like 70 or 72% of black women are unmarried, something like that. Like, and there's people out there who there was a time when, I don't care about the black community. How does it affect me? The black community was devastated by radical feminism. So for those of you who don't know, blacks used to have the highest rate of marriage and non-divorce. So they were getting together and staying together and having the family together. When did it start to collapse? After the welfare bill of Lyndon B. Johnson. If I recall, that was 1965. And from that point forward, that was when black women started it. And that expression, I don't need no man. What they mean is the physical man. Women married the government. And what you saw with radical feminism is they dangled this carrot by saying, here's cash and prizes, ladies. But what did you need to do, Nick? You as a lawyer, you know this. What do you need to do for women? What did they need to do to get the cash and prizes?
Not make enough money. Like, not make too much money.
Well, that's a part of it. Who needed to be out of that house?
Oh, the guy, yeah, the man.
Kick the man out, and we, the government, will give you cash and prizes. Right. Food stamps, you got it. Now, with Section 8, they wanted to give you all this stuff, but you have to get rid of the man. For those of you who don't understand...
So then you just borrow the man for a little while.
Yeah, so the man basically becomes he's a proxy for resources. So the government makes him a debt slave by saying, and that's how you start seeing them, put him on child support. That is the biological imperative used against the woman's own biological imperative, which is the need for security. Now, in the short term, it works for her. So she'll say, hey, I'm getting what I want. I don't need no man. In the long run, single moms raise, look up the statistics, the worst types of males. It's over 80% of your prison population comes from what, Nick? Nuclear families? No. Single moms. Not single dads, single moms.
No, there's I think Ben Shapiro lays out the statistics where basically he says if you come from a 2-parent household and you, I think you get married and you have a job.
Yep.
If you do those 3 things, you, like 99.7% chance will never commit a crime.
Well, a crime that you're going to go to jail for.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because underage drinking is a crime. Smoking weed is a crime in most places. Not fully legalized yet. Everything, but yeah. So a crime that you're gonna get in jail for doing hard time for.
Okay, so I got to catch up on some of these chats because we got a bunch to get through real quick. Mithrin Emrys, this is way back. It says, "Is it guilty? It is guilty even if proven innocent." And this is right. This is right. I think.
The Duke Lacrosse case.
Yeah, they just say he got away with it. Most of the Duke Lacrosse guys are still dealing with fallout.
Correct.
Right, and this was one of my arguments with Kavanaugh is he had to be put on the Supreme Court because there's no recovery from the accusations if he's not put on the Supreme Court. And that's a dumb thing to do because I didn't really care for Kavanaugh, and I'm a fairly constitutional conservative or whatever. But Kavanaugh has some real problems for me on guns and on privacy, so I wasn't the biggest fan of him. But once they Me Too'd Kavanaugh, is it Kavanaugh? Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
But anyway, so once they did that to him, it became a moral battle of do we allow the accusations to rule someone's life? And yeah, you can get charged with this crime. First of all, most people are going to take a plea. We talked about this earlier.
Yep, we did.
The plea system is set to it's an unfair choice. You have a 25-year sentence or you have a 5-year sentence if you take the plea, and the 25-year sentence it's the longest shot in the world unless you can get some real hard evidence against them. So yeah, I think Mithrin is right. It's guilty even if proven innocent when it's a sexual assault or sexual based crime. You don't ever get to recover. And then Mithrin says that girl had previously reported someone he was right to act first. This is when you were talking about going to the administration first. It was like a race between the two parties.
Yeah, it becomes a race now. The social construct between men and women.
Is that a race war?
A race, right? So the social contract has been broken between men and women, unfortunately. And what a lot of people don't understand is what comes next is this doesn't turn out the way people think it will. For people who actually have abstract thought and understand how cycles work, is it will fall. It will collapse. It may not be in our lifetime because it takes a while for something to collapse. I mean, in ancient Rome, people say, oh, this is the start, Commodus Caesar era, and it slowly collapses. Like, it takes a while for a collapse to happen because you've built a society. It's a functioning society with lots of legs and arms and all these things, lots of extremities that are bound together to keep this thing running. But as the men pull away and the resources get scarce, there's actually pictures and videos of Romans at the peak of the Roman army, and they were, at the breastplate, and they looked all And then the very end, they were like basically in rags. And it's
Right.
like, well, because you're you stretched yourself thin, your resources dried up, marriage collapsed, everything collapsed, the family collapsed, and then society collapsed, and then the Huns come in.
So is that... I was going to make a gay marriage joke, and like I just feel wrong doing it.
Oh, a French Rome?
Well, because famously, that was during the gay marriage debate, that was they're like, no, gay marriage goes all the way back to Emperor Nero, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he and of course ignoring the context of no one else was allowed to. This was just the emperor kind of exercising his power. But I was going to make a
lot of emperors in that era, a lot of rulers were pansexual.
Yeah. Well, because it was, this is like Reynaldo Arenas. It wasn't about being hetero or homosexual or whatever. It was just for whatever reason they were delving into sexuality generally.
Correct. The experimentation of sexuality, which is pansexuality. If you're having whatever, men, women, trans people, whatever it is you want to do. A lot of Alexander the Great, a lot of these people were pansexual, and the reason for that is if you are basically above the law, you are in a situation where you can say, I want to try whatever I want to try, and no one can stop me. So that's why people do it. It's to exert dominance. Like if I say I want that, if you're Genghis Khan, what was someone if you conquered someone, and you're Genghis Khan, and you conquer whatever village, whatever, and if you say I want that woman, what's someone going to tell you? No. They got conquered. What are they going to do? Nothing. So
get eaten.
Right? I mean, game over. So if you understand that basic premise of why a ruler is able to just do whatever he wants with whomever he wants, there you go.
Yeah. I was just going to make a joke that, the first recorded gay marriage led to the downfall of Rome.
Oh, yeah, right? There goes the fall.
That was a throwaway joke. Thank you for taking that joke and running with it as far as possible.
Move to Japan as a Mormon. Wink, wink.
Turbo Donk says, do we have to wait until 20K before Drexel comes back? Because he's awesome. Well,
thank you.
That's up to him.
Turbo Donk.
That's up to him. And guys, we're hours apart and on different schedules. So it's... The reason is just logistics. Cormoran says, it's an offensive stream, bundle of sticks. Don't you dare do that in my house.
Offensive stream.
Let's see. Then we've got Bagel Goose saying rip tentacles. Yeah, this is back when we were making fun of Japan. Super Iron Bob says, the Western world is like the panda, won't F to save its own kind. Yeah, you have to force breed pandas.
Yeah.
That's how lazy that bear is.
Yeah. It's, well,
panda chicks are ugly, though. I mean, they're kind of fat.
They're all fat. Pandas are, they look cuddly when they're, I don't know, in cartoon form or something, but in general, they're just kind of there. Spotted bears, I guess. Yeah.
Bagel Goose says the robots are coming, and so am I.
Yeah, robot. Hey man, it's a real thing, man. I'm not even lying though. Real talk. My mom was in town from Vegas, and on the Dr. Oz show, they had sex robots was the feature, and she had this look on her face like this, just baffled at what she was seeing. I told her, I said, Mom, I know you think this is like some creepy, weird stuff. I said, for those of you in the chat who understand science fiction as time goes on becomes science fact, do you remember when you watch old sci-fi movies, they had like assistants, right? Like, they walk in and before there was a clap on, people would say stuff like, oh, get the coffee working or whatever. We're in that era now with, our assistant, your Google Assistant, your Siri. So we're in that era now. Go back to watching like, Blade Runner and all these old sci-fi movies. There has always been a fascination with men wanting the sex bot. They want the benefits of sex with a woman or the intimacy with a woman, whether it be just comfort, consoling. They wanted that without the so-called hassle that a lot of men view women bringing into their lives, and sometimes it can be even chaotic. So if someone says, I have this bot just for what I need, it is no different than women. I mean, women can go to a store right now. There's an uproar about sex dolls, but women can go to a store and buy sex toys.
Yeah.
There's no uproar against women buying sex toys. So what is the difference? They're not lifelike. Well, or they're only lifelike in that one shape, and that it's not the whole body. but they make sex dolls for men, women, and whatever in between.
Right. The most famous one being, was it Jude Law?
Oh, an AI? yeah. AI, the AI thing. What was his name? Gigolo Joe. Yeah, Gigolo Joe. What do you know? Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, but the sex...
Me Too sex bots.
The sex robot thing, they've got a real problem because when there are men out there who will take the opportunity to satisfy their sexual desires with, once robots become a comparable experience. In like now,
correct.
I believe the current state of sex robots, they don't move. They're not like animatronic.
No, they move now, man.
They move?
Yeah, look, I saw one, winked at them.
Oh.
They're getting, well, okay. So,
well, because you could beat a sex robot too, which would be, like, for some men, that would be a benefit.
Well, they've done studies. I saw someone say, "Stop adjusting your glasses." It's actually, I don't want to, but they actually made these glasses too short. So for anyone wondering why I always adjust my glasses, they're like too short, these side parts, so they're always like slipping just off of me. So sorry about that. But when it comes to these sex bots, what you need to understand is all technology improves at a dramatic pace, especially as you get funding.
Right.
So as more funding goes toward the sex bots, and as more men pull away, you are going to see sex bots become the new thing. Like,
so when Elon Musk gets tired of killing real strippers, and he starts killing robots.
It's gonna look like Blade Runner 2049.
Do you think there's a dead hooker in the back of the Tesla that he shot into space?
No, was that the rumor?
I don't know. That's the rumor we started on this show.
Wow. Wow.
Well, why else is he's out as CEO of
he's out as chairman, still the CEO. So he's off the board, but still CEO, which means he's still running the operation. It's just it's a show. I believe he's fined by the SEC.
Well, now he can shoot two dead hookers into space.
Hey, man, he can shoot as many as he wants.
You see Dirty Work? Norm Macdonald? When he invades that guy's car commercial, and he's got he paid the hookers to lay in the trunks of the cars, and it's a live commercial, and so he starts opening them while the guy's talking. He's like, "What's this? A dead hooker?"
Oh goodness! Talk about a prank.
Okay. We're at Keck7 Go says, all I see in Judge Judy, black or white, is single moms all day long. Yeah,
correct. The system wants that. It's okay for anyone out there. For any, I don't know how many of you guys in the chat. You can just put a 1 if you are a father or who has been through the family court system or knows someone who has gone through the family court system, especially if it has devastated them. You just want to put a 1 up. One of the things that you need to understand is I've been through the family court system for custody, and I had 90% of the legal system figured out. There was 10% I just couldn't wrap my head around, and I ended up bumping to a buddy of mine from high school who was actually a political science major. He explained the last part to me.
Who is this? Just first name?
Andrew. I don't remember his last name. He was actually younger than us.
Oh, okay.
I'm 1 year younger than you, but he was younger than me. He explained to me about the financial side. It was the one, because I was still looking at it I was actually projecting. I was projecting my own morality on a system, and I didn't understand how it was so corrupt. I said, there's something I'm lacking. What is it that I'm missing? So for those of you who understand, I see lots of 1s. People are getting hosed out there, man, who know someone who have been through it themselves. If you haven't been through it,
I'm not coming on
and you were whiskey. If you guys want to know why the system is so against men, why is it so misandric, it benefits the state, the welfare state, to help women, to side with women. So think about this for just a second. You represent the government right now, and you have a couple in there. You have to choose what is in the best interest of the child. We all know every statistic on single moms. Higher rate of poverty. The children of single moms end up, higher rate of going to prison. The higher rate for violence. Women, by statistics, abuse children at a higher rate and have killed children at a higher rate. So every statistic says that it is more dangerous to put a child or children in the care of a single mother. So why does the government do it? It is more profitable. If I put the children in the hands of this single mom, and then now this dad becomes a debt slave. So now he is now funding her lifestyle, which is why you notice when women try to take guys back to in court for child support, they always say stuff like, "I need more for," and they always got catch like
yeah.
Remember, say the child needs, and the judge never once corrects them, being like, "Oh, you just said you. What about the kid?" You've seen some of these child support orders.
Because my child
a month for child support. Come on, man.
My child is part of me.
Part of me.
That's what I meant the entire time.
Yeah, this ridiculousness. Is it weird that I want to be a single dad? You can be a single dad. The artificial womb is coming. Just wait for it, gentlemen. Just like the sex bot.
Then you'll be coming.
It's coming. It's coming, man. So once that happens, you'll see the you're gonna see this black guy knows about the Matrix. Oh yeah, who's that? Fat Andy. Yeah, I know, man. I got schooled. For those people out there who are about MGTOW lifestyles and red pills and all that, whether you watch Cassie J's movie or not, yeah, you can go through some real stuff in life or see someone else go through it.
Cassie J's the feminist chick who
turned.
Yeah, she's now a men's rights activist.
She turned. Hey, man, look.
I got to get her on the show.
You go through some real stuff, and you can see it. But she doesn't classify herself specifically as an MRA. She just says, now that she sees the injustices, she's like, whoa.
But people hate her, which means I want to put her on the show.
Well, of course they hate, because you don't follow the feminist mindset, and for all of this hatred toward men, all this misandry going on today. The people out there who are, the women who say they, I don't need no man, or I hate men and stuff. Take everything that men do away and just remove men out of the equation. Just poof, gone. Society collapses. So if you flip the script and said, now there's nothing but men, poof, all women are gone. What happens? Oh, it's great initially. And then what happens? Can't reproduce. We are a team.
This was an episode of Sliders.
I remember that show vaguely.
Cause so bad, Jerry O'Connell,
yeah, something like that.
And they like quantum leaped or whatever because it's Quantum Leap with a different name.
Of course,
they went to the different dimension, and one of them, all the men had like died, and so then the like 3 men in the Sliders team get abducted by the like basically Amazonian women running the earth. And they get put in the breed farm.
Of course.
And
which is rape, by the way.
They're just sitting around in a sauna all day with ice packs on their junk.
which I mean, though, like that, I mean, like, especially for the incels out there, that may be a good thing. Being abducted by Amazonians. But by definition, that's me too, right? It's without their consent. Amazonians, you're basically raping them.
I think the joke of the show, they were consenting.
Oh, well, they can rescind.
They're just tired and they needed a protein shake.
Oh, goodness.
Some vitamin E. Super Iron Bob says, even if we successfully genetically engineered cat girls, they would still be 3D and thus be irrelevant. Super Iron Bob, I think, is referencing anime girls as superior to anything three-dimensional. Oh, man, it flipped on me. Ryan English says, in one word, what could fix society and why?
In one word?
One word.
Wow, that's tough. In one word, I would say
Tyson.
Yeah, Iron Mike. If I take one word to say how we can fix society, I would say interdependency. If everyone actually would recognize the problems and then say, we're all in this together, we're a team. Because if not, we'll become extinct. And for those people out there who believe that that's not going to happen, every civilization that has collapsed said it wasn't going to be them. That hubris of, it ain't going to be us. No, I mean, look how great we are. Look how accomplished we are. For those people in the chat, if you ever thought about this for just a second, if certain things didn't happen throughout history, we look at, the fact we have these smartphones and SpaceX rockets flying, and everyone thinks that that's so great. Do you ever think that with the amount of people who have been mass murdered throughout history and died for no reason, civilizations that have collapsed, how much further would we be? Because remember, after Rome collapsed, what came next? The Dark Ages.
Okay,
then the Renaissance comes later. So
then I got to ask about abortion.
Okay.
Has abortion devastated society in a similar way? Because Now, there are economic arguments to be made, but the long and short is that abortion has resulted in roughly 60 million babies being killed.
Okay. So you're saying, like, based on my same logic, yeah, well, now, I'm sure there's someone out there who says, well, we also prevented, serial killers and blah, 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 blah. But remember this. It's the bell curve. So...
You can't say bell curve. That's racist.
Oh, is it?
Of course it is.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I'm sure it's racist somehow. God.
Why do you have a serious answer for the... Like, you're like, interdependency. It's really interdependency. It's one word that could solve society. Why wasn't it funny? Like, I don't even know what's funny. Whiskey? Could whiskey solve society? Probably not.
No.
Incels?
Incels
can solve society.
Let's just talk about incels for just 1 second. There's no such thing as an incel.
There's no such thing as an incel.
Myth. Yep. Anyone out there who says that they are an incel, I want you to break down this term. Involuntary celibate.
Sure.
So think about this for a second, everyone in the chat. You are an involuntary celibate, yet prostitution is legal. I'm not advocating for prostitution, but...
I think we should legalize prostitution.
Now, I've always said that. I believe personally, like most things, there was a time when advocating for, marijuana was a horrible thing. Advocating for, look at prohibition. So you removed alcohol, what did you create? Organized crime. You outlaw drugs, what do you create? Organized crime.
Right.
Whatever you outlaw, it's almost like there's a kind of a very, very weird kind of twist to this. The more you subsidize something, the more you get of it.
Right.
The more you outlaw something,
the more you get of it.
Not only the worse it gets. So when you outlaw booze and someone goes, we're going to get rid of drink.
So government is terrible.
No, government inherently is not.
No, disavow. Government is definitely terrible.
Yeah, it's you do need government, because without government, without laws, without functions, without rules, you would have total anarchy. Which there are people out there who think that sounds cool, but like most things in life, when people actually live it, it's not so cool.
Okay, so if there were such a thing as incels, though, who do we know that's an incel?
Hey, man, look.
Chad?
Hey. God, oh, man. No.
Chad's got to be, like, is he still alive? That guy's got to be an incel, right?
Look, it goes back to my point. By definition, if a man or woman, I don't think there's any female incels, but you can always go and pay. So by definition, you can't be an incel. Because the
what about Russell Greer, who got kicked out of the bunny ranch?
but he had the girlfriend experience. Did he have a happy ending?
No, I think he got thrown out before.
Well, okay, well, here's the thing though. He had the girlfriend experience. Could he have gone there and just wanted sex? If the answer is yes, then by definition he can't be an incel. You see what I'm saying? Think about it.
Oh, sure.
I can't have sex. I'm going to pay this person. There you go. So by definition, if you have money...
But what if no amount of money could buy it?
Look, Chad the incel. Jesus was an incel. No, Jesus was not an incel.
He was
voluntary.
Yeah,
he was voluntary. He voluntarily did not do something.
What about Mundane Matt?
Ooh.
Who's that? That was a brutal takedown of Mundane Matt just now, right on stream.
Who's Mundane Matt?
I think you've said it all. I'll show you. I'll show you a picture of Mundane Matt. This is Mundane Matt.
Oh, Mundane Matt.
Mundane Matt.
Oh, they said Monday Matt.
Look at that.
Oh God, the cuck face. Yeah. So Mundane Matt is promoting a scam and the new social. Oh God.
Oh, don't worry about the titles. Mundane Matt's just funny. We won't get into that. This is behind us, so it looks weird.
It does look weird.
That's what they see. They see back in time.
Oh, okay.
Let me get back to the chats. Lolly says, congrats on 10,000, Nick. Love you and Mrs. Rackets. Such wonderful and inspirational people. Keep doing what you do, buddy. Also, hi, Drexel. Hi, Lolly. Lady Rackets and I got to meet Lolly in Atlanta at a live show.
Oh, I was just in Atlanta.
I don't think she's from Atlanta, but we were both there for the same show. The Dick Show did a live show.
Oh, okay.
And so we went to that. This is like a whole microcosmic community of glory.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
A bunch of drinking. Longneck McGee says, "Hey Nick, hey Drexel, what are your favorite movies and are we all doomed?" We're all doomed, that's for sure. But what are your favorite? What's your favorite movie? If you had to pick one, because this is the roughest question. If you like movies, is to pick one. And while you think, I'm gonna do some more. Donut Swan says, "Is there something wrong with these guys' hands?" That's in response to the needing of sex robots.
Oh.
Hey, if they're out of lotion, man. Calluses.
I don't know, man. Look, incel lives matter, man. For real.
And Fat Andy, donate. Yes, we covered this. This is Kangol. This is a Kangol hat.
Yeah, that might be like the new thing. We're gonna just people. Anytime I'm on, we'll donate a Kangol.
I've never heard of it.
That's what LL is famous for.
I don't. Oh, LL Cool J. Okay,
yeah, he always would have the Kangol.
Hey, is LL Cool J a mass shooter by the name of Chris Dorner?
Oh, yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah, he took on LAPD.
But did you see him?
He looked eerily similar. Yeah, that was...
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him in the Bane face.
Yeah. Oh, that's wrong, man. You can't give him the Bane mask, man.
Look at LL Cool J here. It looks shockingly similar.
Eerily similar.
Okay.
Eerily similar.
So we got to move this along. I'm bad at this. Beer and Pretzels 24 said Houston just stopped a sex bot brothel from.
I heard about that.
Right, the land of freedom.
Same, if I recall, correct me if I'm wrong. It was the same guy.
This is why we got to
tried to get it started in Canada.
We got to get Sheila Jackson Lee out. That's her fault. She's like the representative that covers the district of Harris County. She's a U.S. House person. Sheila Jackson Lee.
Oh,
hands down, one of the dumbest people on earth.
Never heard of him.
Her, yeah.
Her.
Yeah. Or him. Jackson it's Lee. Okay. She's whew. Donut Swan says, "I'd knock the feathers off a bagel goose sex robot." All right.
Wow.
And then I think that catches us up, which is good. And so what's your favorite movie? No, Fat Andy, he does not currently.
I think it's tough to say I have a favorite movie. But what I will say is the best movie I've ever seen was actually at your house. When you first subscribed to Netflix, that was my graduation year, 2001, you rented Goodfellas.
Oh,
there was a UK magazine that said Goodfellas, the same thing I said, which is, if you go and look at Goodfellas critically, it is the only movie that doesn't have a flaw. Every movie has a flaw. Like Godfather, that opening, it's slow. The bad editing when Sonny is beating up his brother-in-law. A lot of movies have lots of just outright, this is flawed. That was a bad performance. Goodfellas had none. So I would take Goodfellas up there. Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Friday, The Dark Knight.
What about American Beauty? That's a movie I can, for some reason, watch over and over and over again, even though Kevin Spacey raped that boy.
Whatever his name. What is his name? Wes Studi.
What? Wes
Studi.
Who's Wes Studi?
That was the dude who played the creepy neighbor kid who would
have
the camera and look.
No, weird. I was talking about the kid that the actor who played Mark in Rent. Who he's the guy who said that Kevin Spacey molested him at a party in real life.
Well, I didn't know about all that.
You didn't hear the Kevin Spacey?
Well, I heard about the Kevin Spacey. I didn't know.
And he went with the "I'm gay" defense.
Yeah, hold on now. That's not the first time somebody who's been accused of sexual impropriety in the criminal sense has gone to say, "But I'm not gay though." Larry Craig, senator, caught in MSP bathroom because he says he had a wide stance and was soliciting a male prostitute.
Well, that guy's gay.
I ain't gay though. I'm not.
No,
not
Kevin
gay.
Spacey went with the "I am gay now."
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like so, it's deflection. It's another tool that people use when you get busted for something. You say, you shift people's direction over to somewhere and say, "But I'm not this," and a lot of people do that. People do evil stuff and they say, "Well, I'm not going to hell because I'm not Hitler."
Right.
I'm not evil. It's like,
did Hitler do something wrong?
So someone didn't read their history books.
No. So the American Beauty thing, I don't know why.
Brian Singer. Hey man, look, Bryan Singer could be a whole episode alone. And for those of you who know the story about Brandon Routh, Superman Returns, Brandon Routh, 2006. There are stories.
That movie's garbage.
It was terrible. However, there are stories. I gotta watch what I say because of legal issues. Rumors about Hollyweird director Bryan Singer, who's allegedly had the twink parties and all this other stuff going on. He, and who was the villain in that movie? Kevin Spacey, who was also in The Usual Suspects, where Bryan Singer first kind of got popular. That he and Kevin Spacey had relations. That was how Brandon Routh was allowed to have the role, allegedly. And is it any wonder why when the movie didn't take off and what has Brandon Routh been in other than was like Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, Vampire Killer, or whatever?
Who?
You kill it.
Ben Roth?
No. Brandon Routh, the guy who played
Brandon
Superman
Routh.
in Superman Returns.
That movie was so bad.
It was so bad, but you know me, my memory, I don't forget anything. So
yeah. Oh man, that's the curse.
It's a horrible.
You're
horrible
like
thing.
you're like the black guy in Hackers too.
Oh, do you have the same thing? I don't
Yeah.
barely read that movie.
Oh wait a minute, I thought you had a perfect memory.
I didn't watch Hackers. I'm just aware of it. I think was Angelina Jolie in that?
Oh yeah, dude, it's a great movie.
That was 95, I believe.
Yeah, the black guy with the dreadlocks. He had the photographic memory.
Yeah,
Didactic memory is the correct term.
Yeah. If you ask me about something, it's very rare that you'll hear me say like, I don't remember that. If it happened, I remember it, unfortunately, because it's worked against me in most times.
Yeah, but okay, so you remember Superman Returns vividly, which is disgusting.
The Gone with the Wind of gangster flicks. Yeah, see, look, Vampire Slayer. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was Brandon Routh.
Okay, so then Turbo Neil Breen says Vox Day. Thank you, Turbo. And then Turbo Donk says Fisk Vox Day. Do you know who Vox Day is? Vox Day is an interesting fellow. Bagel Goose says you don't need a robot to do that, Donut Swan. That was referring to knocking his feathers off if he were a sex robot.
Oh yeah, look, man, it's coming, man. I see, like I said, I see a lot of women panicking. I have most everyone I know is female because it's the way it is. But they have asked me. I've had lots of relationship questions.
Lord Nikon, yes, thank you. That was the black guy in Hackers.
Oh,
Lord
okay.
Nikon.
Oh, he's named after the camera company.
He had a photographic memory.
Oh,
this is deep symbolism.
wow! Wow! It's come to that. Okay.
Matthew Lillard's one of his first movies was Hackers. Hackers is great.
Hold on. That's the same year as Scream, then. 95.
And
Scream
also
came out in 95.
You know the fat.
No, 96. I believe it was 96. That's right. Scream was 96.
You know the fat black actor who's always a cop. He's the cop in The Wire.
I never seen The Wire. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of
watch
Baltimore.
The Wire.
Because
It's
Baltimore is,
The Wire is great, even though the writer is trash.
Okay.
The writer's he's a good writer, but he's kind of just a scumbag person.
Oh, okay.
But The Wire is a fantastic show. Definitely watch it. They do the scene in The Wire where they hook the guy up to the polygraph for the questioning, and it's a photocopier, and so they put in they put in 2 green pieces of paper and then a red piece of paper, and so they're like, okay, this is a polygraph test. You just put your hand on this plate, and it'll measure if you're telling the truth, and then if we'll press this button after each answer and it'll measure it. And so they're like, what's your name? And he tells them their name. So they press it and the green comes out for true. He's like, what's your birthday? And so then the green comes out for true. And then they ask him the question they know he's going to lie about. And so then they hit the button and the red page comes through. So it's like, oh, you're lying. We know it. The polygraph said so. And this is actually perfectly legal to do for cops. So that's great. They can lie about everything. But anyway, that scene is perfect. Perfectly done. Great scene. And probably actually happened several times in Baltimore.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, so favorite movies. So you were saying Goodfellas, which is fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, if I'm saying the movie that I believe is the most perfect movie.
What's the movie that if you are flipping through channels or whatever, you see it on, you can't not watch it? Because for my dad, it's Runaway Jury.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's it's like one of the worst movies. John Cusack, and it's just garbage. But he if it's on, he'll watch
to be fair though, okay, look, like this is the reason why I think that question is so difficult. Unless you have like a really big emotional response to a movie, if it's very sentimental to you, is because different movies usually your favorite movies come from different genres, and because of that, you will say your favorite movies usually represent a genre. So I'll say like the original Halloween of 1978 is my favorite horror movie.
Best music riff in all of movies.
Easily. Something like that. So watching that, The Dark Knight is the quintessential. Here you go with the whole. I didn't like the ending. Okay, so I'm
but the quintessential anything is The Dark Knight.
For comic book movie. Okay, but name one better.
Oh, better comic book movie?
Yes. Come on now. Avengers.
X-Men 3.
You better stop. Look, I almost walked out of The Last Stand with Vinnie Jones playing Juggernaut. So that was horrible.
There's got to be some some fly under the radar comic that got made into a movie.
Now you could argue Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition was good.
Was really good, but we're saying, okay, let's just go with superhero movies. Like the guys who are actual comic book heroes. Dark Knight was his gold standard. I just saw the 10-year anniversary out in San Francisco. Excellent.
Okay, so Spookmeyer says the actor is Wendell Pierce. He's the black actor. He's a cop in everything. I don't know if that's true, but he's a cop in The Wire and he's a cop in Hackers.
He was embedded with homicide. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Baltimore was recently. They had that. I think they had like some article about the all the things that the Baltimore PD has done over all these years with racial stuff. So
Spookmeyer says the best comic book movie is Batman Forever, and he will fight you and your friend on this. So he will fight us both.
You know what? Hold on now. Here's the reason why I'm no. You got it wrong. Hold on. You said Batman Forever is Two-Face and the Riddler.
Oh,
Batman and Robin is the god-awful Arnold is Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Batman and Robin is... I apologize.
I will say this, though.
It's the whiskey.
Batman and Robin is the most important Batman movie in history. By far. Easily. Easily the most important. Because from that point forward, you can never do a corny version of Batman. The Adam West campy version.
Because it was so bad.
It was so bad now that... Think about it. Every interpretation of Batman, whether it be the Arkham City, Arkham Asylum games, whether it be... TV shows, the movies out of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, even Batman vs Superman. Like, no depiction of Batman since Batman and Robin has been campy. He goes to his gritty, Frank Miller-esque roots.
He meant Batman and Robin.
Yes, of course. I figured that's what it was.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, God. Oh, that movie was off. I actually saw it opening day, too, in Brookdale Mall. Saw it opening day back in '97, and I still haven't recovered.
I meant the one with
Spider-Man 3 must have. Oh man, come on, the dance scene.
Now, what about what was that Denzel Washington movie? I love this movie. I just can't think of the title.
Denzel.
What
He's awful.
The Book of Eli. That was a comic, though, wasn't it?
Maybe it felt like a comic with the Hughes brothers directing.
Book of Eli's good. It's a good flick. What about that movie? Oh, this is the movie. It's actually my favorite movie. Children of Men.
Clive Owen?
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's a great movie.
I didn't think it was great.
I'm going to hit you in the
I liked it. Okay, watch this. Name the antagonist.
It's not Man on Fire. No, it's not Man on Fire.
You know what I would take over that any day? A movie I loaned to you was Heat. I would take Collateral over Children of Men.
Collateral's really good, but Children of Men... Okay, so... Let me lay out something for the chat. I've never talked about this on stream. This is very personal to me. I have it's called the Lifehouse theory of movies and television. Okay, so Lifehouse is a really garbage Christian rock band.
Okay.
And they had a song called Hanging by a Moment. Okay. This is all irrelevant other than the title of the song, Hanging by a Moment. There are some movies which have perfectly executed a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, my favorite is House of a Thousand Corpses. Not because the movie, but because that one...
It was a great moment. The long pull away shot, and he's holding the gun like this, and there's the potential victim.
Yeah.
And as pulling the camera away, you keep waiting for the gunshot. Waiting. It keeps pulling back. But
it gives you just long enough to get into the head of the cop who's about to get killed.
Correct.
It's perfect. It's a perfectly executed scene.
It's the only time I've ever seen that, by the way.
Children of Men has a very close scene. So Children of Men, you remember, all of the kids, no kids have been born in like 18 years.
Yep.
And then she's pregnant with the one baby.
Correct.
And then while like World War VIII is going on, and there's bombs and stuff blowing, Clive Owen delivers the baby. And they're trying to get out of I think the baby's already born, but they're trying to smuggle the baby out of the city. That's the whole thing. And there's like bullets and mortars and tanks and everybody's getting killed and blowing up. And then the baby cry echoes out and everything stops.
I do remember that.
Because it was like so powerful because no one has heard a baby cry in 18 years. And it's
I remember that.
It's this perfect moment.
And then, everyone kind of just basically stares at them as they're walking by.
They realize how important it is that that baby gets out of that situation. And then they like walk out and it's silent.
Yep.
And they crunch their way out and they get out of range. And then immediately guns and bombs are going off. It's excellent.
Although here's my only problem with that scene. Obviously, it was very thematic. Very cinematic, but at the end of the day, in a battlefield, to hear a baby just like in the course of the only people who would hear that it would be people immediately within that proxy battle. So if you are, let's say a sniper way out there,
are you criticizing the symbolism involved in the movie with reality?
Well, look. It's, like I said, I get why movies allow these moments to happen. But to say Children of Men is, like I said, I've seen
Men Under the Sun. Wasn't it Men Behind the Sun, Dr. Richard R. Ape? That's Dr. Richard R. Ape, by the way. Wasn't it Men Behind the Sun?
Who's talking black guy? That was actually what I suggested was the title for your 10,000 subs.
That's what it is.
Oh, is it?
It's 10,000 subscriber spectacular with obligatory token black guy.
Nice.
So I went with the suggestion.
Yeah, there it is.
I thought it was perfectly appropriate.
Absolutely. Wait, hold on. Look, so someone says, I unofficially love Lord of War with Nick Cage. Do you know what's better? Wait, who's that person that is...
I don't know.
The Sloth Father. I challenge the Sloth Father to ask themselves this question. What's better? Lord of War... Sorry, Nick Cage. Or
The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man. Anyone in the chat who hasn't seen The Wicker Man starring Nick Cage knows. The Dark Knight. The plane scene. Oh, he must mean The Dark Knight Rises. With Bane. That was excellent. That was excellent technically, but from a standpoint of thematics, the Joker's introduction was better in The Dark Knight.
So I did a video with a guy called Hack the Movies just the other day. It released today, and we went through all the crimes of Michael Myers, and I had to craft a legal defense for Michael Myers in Halloween, original Halloween.
Okay, the original.
The first one.
Okay, the original. All right.
And if you notice, there's no witnesses to any of the murders in the original movie.
Hold on. Correct.
The closest thing you've got is him cutting and then chasing down Jamie Lee Curtis.
Correct. Even as a 6-year-old, Michael Myers is not seen murdering his sister. You see the aftermath. He kills that dude to get his mechanic's clothes. No witnesses. He kills Annie and Bob.
Hey, he done Bob wrong.
Hey man, the Bob killing when he does the head tilt.
He holds Bob up with the one hand.
Grabbing Bob one hand and then knife in the other hand. Bam. All you see is the feet dangle. Excellent. Wait. Oh, you know what? Drive. I'm glad someone brought that up. Just a quick little side note. Drive with Ryan Gosling. Saw it in theaters the first time. Couldn't stand it because I went in with, once again, terrible marketing.
Yeah.
Can mess up a great movie. If you went into Drive like I did with a gone in 60 seconds kind of mentality of a fast pace, you were horribly disappointed.
What was the movie that was I think the
movie was
same
excellent.
director with also Ryan Gosling that followed Drive. That was about he was in Thailand.
Correct. It was Only God Forgives.
God awful.
Couldn't stand it.
Hated it.
Had a couple of moments though.
Had the best advertising. Like, whoever cut those trailers
Correct.
deserves a raise
Correct.
because he swindled me out of all my dollars.
Now, I saw that on video. I went to see it in theater. I'm glad I didn't. But for those of you about Drive, the opening chase in Drive, which is stop and go, is still, I would put that in my top 3.
Never watched Drive. I'll watch it.
But like I say, now that you go in with, make sure you have the right mindset that it's not a gone 60 seconds. Snatch, I saw that after.
Snatch is great, of course. Keck7Go says, I'm from the EU, so I don't know if this is racist or not, but what is the best brand of grape soda?
Ooh.
It's not Fanta, it's Welch's.
Welch's grape. You can even go with Sunkissed grape.
Sunkissed is good.
Yeah. But
I feel
not
like
Fanta. Fanta's the worst grape.
I feel like an old fat man on a porch with you right now. Like we're rocking in the chairs. Like, you know what makes a good grape soda? That Sunkist makes a good grape soda.
That Sunkist make good soda. I remember the first time Harold and Kumar pulled it out with that officer. And grape soda is good, man. I don't really drink pop like that at all, though. I'm a water guy, as you know.
Yeah. True story. Drexel does not drink the devil's whiskey.
Or any alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
I'm a choir boy.
Crush is okay, but no, I like Welch's.
Purple drink, sorry. yeah, Welch's, but Welch's, it's...
What about Faygo? Straight out of Detroit. It's like $1 for a 3-liter of Faygo.
I know what you're talking about.
Insane Clown Posse loved the Faygo.
Yeah, well, it's enough said.
You know those guys were pastors?
Oh, before they did their whole...
No, not before.
Oh, currently?
Okay, so...
Oh, this is news to me.
There was like a... Maybe I'm wrong on how this turned out, but there was an arc to all of the ICP albums, and then they get to this one called Redemption, and like turns out they were teaching you the gospel through clown juggalo symbolism the entire time. And they came out as pastors. They were interviewed in one of the most incoherent pieces I've ever read. It was amazing. It's like they're like 40-year-old pastors from Detroit, street preaching to people through like clown murder songs.
Yeah. I all I know is that I've heard, like, I don't know an official, like, I can't say I know an ICP song, but I remember hearing them way back when they were like beefing like Eminem and some other. I was just kind of like, this is okay. If you like it, you like it, but it wasn't for me. I see a lot of people saying Faygo.
I saw Shags 2 Dope tried to drop kick Fred Durst last week and failed.
You know what? I did hear about that. Didn't see it though. Now, someone recently sent me a video of a little person. I want to call them midgets. A little person. I think she was a stripper in Thailand. She ran and jumped up the stage, and she was muscular. She runs and jumps. And it was an epic fail of a catch. It was like and she just kind of, Thailand's a dangerous place, man.
You know, like hours ago, we were on Me Too.
Yeah, we talked about Me Too. Me Too, you could do 10 episodes on Me Too. I mean, seriously. There are so many twists and turns to Me Too. Like, does anyone have any, like, question about Me Too? I mean, they even have survival guides now. How to survive the workplace. How to survive in the office.
Here's
Me Too.
Let me help you with survival guides to Me Too.
Ghost.
And you can tell your perspective. I'll give mine, then you can give yours. It'll be like that. But I'm white, so I'm gonna go first.
I think you're more at risk.
Yeah,
I think a white male is more at risk in Me Too.
Well, so that was the question I asked like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. When you asked, like who do you think is, like, you said, I think it was more affected, right?
Well, because the history of rape accusations in America skewed heavily against black men.
Yeah, primarily.
But so I asked, with Me Too and the current day, is Me Too more damaging to black men than white men? And then we kind of got off tangent. So quickly summarize. Because, I mean, the high-profile cases are, you got your Weinsteins, you got your Kavanaughs, you got Trump, you've got all sorts of guys. But then the real cases where people are really affected, you've got black athletes in college, college football, college basketball. I know you know some guys who have been Me Too in some dirty ways.
I've seen Me Too, and Nick can attest for this. For those of you in the chat who want to, at some point, we'll get to the most ridiculous story in history. Nick can testify, as can his parents, to my brother being Me Too'd back in 2006. SWAT came through and busted through the house.
I gotta get your brother on the show.
Yeah, that was. If he tells a story, it's so unfathomable that if someone told you the story, you would swear everyone's like, oh no, this couldn't have happened. This is too fake.
Guys, let me lay this out for you. We went to high school in Lakeville, Minnesota, which is a south suburb of the Twin Cities. It's almost as far south as the suburbs go, but there's a couple pretend suburbs a little bit souther than Lakeville. If you can imagine like a white, very upper middle to upper class suburb outside of the trailer park, we won't talk about those kids. If you can picture this like Edward Scissorhands row of houses, and then picture them cordoning off the street with an actual Lakeville SWAT team, and think about the white upper class suburb that finally gets to use their SWAT team.
Yeah.
And this is the story of his brother getting #MeToo'd by a crazy lady.
Yeah, so it was his girlfriend who quickly became his ex-girlfriend, who, if I recall, didn't have rent money, and that's how they got into a fight when they were in Spring Lake Park. Didn't have rent money. They got into an argument, basically like she wasn't upholding her end of the bargain, and this ex-girlfriend was a meth-using and or abusing stripper escort.
He's got the best taste.
Yeah, if you know my brother, then you'll know his let's call him his rogues gallery. I mean, these are like basically comic book villains of girlfriends he's had. His rogues gallery is the most impressive thoughts you've ever known. And he winds up, he says, F it. Like, here's what most guys do in general. Even the dumbest possible male, which my brother has been for most of his life, will say, screw it, and think rational and just leave that situation. That's how most males react to craziness and chaos. They leave. What she does is waits till he leaves, calls the cops, because once again, this is similar to more like the Jim Crow era, which is, oh my God, he's crazy. Black man with a gun. He's got a gun and swords. He's going to kill me and kill himself. And that's all it took. They don't check anything in this story to make sure, okay, who is the caller? Let's identify the person. Is this information accurate? They just went straight into SWAT situation, which is why I've heard about these.
Zidane's asking the important question. I've never met her. Was she hot? On a 1 to 10 scale.
Okay. If I'm completely unbiased.
Completely unbiased. Like, you are walking in a mall, she walks by, dressed up to be at the mall.
Okay, here's what she is. She would have been considered, and I'm sure all the guys in the chat understand what this term is. She was guilty pleasure hot. You know, where when someone goes, okay, look, would you do it? Yeah. Would you date it? No. No. You don't date that.
So does that mean she's had maybe one too many cupcakes? Are we talking that guilty pleasure hot? Where like she's a little.
No. She was like, okay, she had the stripper look.
Okay, so she was. Yeah. We had a term for this. It was slut hot.
Okay, yeah, she was slut hot. Yeah,
because we knew
every guy knows what slut hot is. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's the girl that you would one night stand, but you would never put a ring on it. You never wipe that up. You never claim her during daytime hours.
Right.
You know, just like, I mean, look, let's face it. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck, man. Let's go into. I had this conversation recently about why guys are into, you know, like when it comes to big women and stuff. Everybody, you're married now, but everyone has at least one big chick in their stable.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
Because I'm actually fattest. Right, I am fattest. I always have been. It's a disability. I can't think of one.
What?
One fat girl. or slightly plump girl. I can't. I can't.
That you do something with?
No.
Look, no,
and I'm being legitimate.
Hold on. Let me explain what I mean by this. I mean, this is what happened. I had a friend of mine years ago ask me. She's a white chick.
Louis Anderson, attorney at law. Picture on the windows. Why don't you tell me about the fat chick? It's actually Antonin Scalia.
But it does look like
a little bit like Louis.
Scalia. But a lot of guys out there know what I'm talking about. Where this fat
everybody
chick.
just rode a moped.
I'm just keeping it a buck. Look, man. Look, I only engage in real talk. That's why Nick brought me to the show. He knows I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing from nobody. So everyone knows. Look, the fat chick with the gray head and everything. Everyone knows on a level of skill. Hold on, fat chicks, strippers. Not there. Now, if they're a crazy stripper, there. Because, I mean, look, everyone knows that the crazy chick is usually the best in bed. So we all know this. And no different than with dealing with fat chicks. A lot of people out there have a fat chick on the team. They like... So that's why if you go out to a bar or club, who gets all the attention once... Last call. Hey, fat thought time. Fat thought time. They ain't going to bed without the D. So they're gonna go ahead and next thing you know, dudes hit. They're like, hey, it's 2 a.m. It's 2:13. Bars closing, clubs close. It is what it is, and it goes down. Like so. What ends up happening is the guy's like, yes, you won't claim them ever. You like I said, it's vampire. You're not going to show them in public in a sunny area during daylight hours.
No pictures because they don't
no
show
pictures.
up.
No pictures. Yeah, you don't want nothing that can show what a horrible choice you just made.
Okay, so who's your big broad?
I can't dox him.
Who's your big celebrity broad?
Oh, if you ask me a big celebrity, Melissa McCarthy any day. Yeah. You know what? She got personality. Yep.
No.
Yep. Melissa McCarthy. No, real talk. Yep. Now she's married, so no disrespect to her husband.
No. In a world of no.
Yeah. We're talking about a world. Yeah. Just keep it a buck. Look, man. Melissa McCarthy. Here's what would end up happening. Here's how this would go.
Melissa McCarthy.
Let me explain. You are in a situation where you got to pick a Hollywood celebrity. You don't have that many big girls. We're not doing Amy Schumer.
No.
If any of you guys know who Terrence Popp is, Terrence Popp described Amy Schumer as Miss Piggy in a human suit. And I said, wow. And it's actually a very accurate description because, come on, man. Come on.
Hey, she's like detached from the fatness. She is gross.
Yeah. Just
like it doesn't matter. She could cut 60 pounds and still be gross.
Yeah, just something about her makes you go, yeah. But so let's get back to Melissa McCarthy. You look at Melissa McCarthy, she would get you laughing, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you'd be looking and you'd be like, I mean, her hand game is fierce. Because a lot of big chicks, they got great hands. They always their manis and petties are on point. And you would say, you know what? No, I feel sick. Yeah, I know. Look, man.
Maybe I'm racist, but I figured you for a Tyra guy.
Tyra,
thick Tyra Banks.
I haven't seen Tyra recently.
Well, I haven't seen Tyra recently. Nobody's seen Tyra recently, but thick Tyra Banks.
Well, did she
top model thick?
Oh, so like I said, I haven't seen her since she was. Now Tyra's forehead swallowed up like 3 other little small children's foreheads, so her forehead game.
Yeah. True.
Widened out, so we're gonna leave that on the shelf.
I'm not a Tyra fan. Never was.
I never was. Like even in higher learning,
Tyra.
Yeah, even when she was in higher learning with Omar Epps, I was kind of,
Now, Omar
keep
Epps
rationalizing. Like, I mean, stop. No white man wants Melissa McCarthy. Look, you gotta pick one. So if someone says you gotta pick out a fat chick, I mean, so who is that?
I did you.
How's your father? Yeah. So how's your father? Like, look, man. it's like when someone says you gotta pick a fat chick.
I don't know. You were pretty quick on the Melissa McCarthy though. Like you put some thought into
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Look, absolutely. You know, I am unashamed of saying that I would go ahead and knock Melissa McCarthy off. Only on the fact that if you're a fat chick, shooting hands and feet,
Okay,
great personality, yeah.
So this Lou illustration says Melissa McCarthy from the new Ghostbusters. For some reason, I was thinking Rebel Wilson. I give that a hard pass.
Oh, you know what?
I don't actually find her funny.
I don't find her funny, but you know what, though? I hate to admit this. If you got an accent...
it's that Aussie accent.
Look...
I'm looking over here looking for fat girls, and I can't.
That's the thing. Okay, so anyone in the chat, the people who are telling me to stop, look, let's ask honestly. How many fat celebrities do you have? Not many. What, you want me to say Tess Holiday? Really?
Hey, no, but Tess Holiday, there's enough Tess Holiday to be like Five Guys fat chick.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
yeah, she was eating cake recently. Videoing that.
So I was trying to find Tess Holliday's weight.
Chucky Mariah Carey's still alive. Hold up. Okay, so who just said that? Comic Book Bob. Okay, so whoever is listening along with Comic Book Bob, I want you guys to do something. There is a Halloween mask. Just type in Michael Myers mask with Mariah Carey. It is exactly the same person. I said, oh no. No, it's not Captain Kirk. It's Mariah. I'm not even... Like, I said it. I was like, man, that ain't true. And then someone showed it to me. I just went, oh no.
See, okay, so this guy says thick Christina Hendricks, which I think...
Oh, hold on. Oh, no, hold up. Christina Hendricks is thick.
See, I don't think she qualifies.
Fat. Yeah. We said fat chick. Okay, so I want someone in the chat to say...
You need a roundish shape.
Yeah, you have to flat out be fat. Okay, so I think in order to solve this, we have to go like this. Would women consider her fat? Because because remember,
women wouldn't consider Tess Holiday fat.
Yeah, there's body positivity. But
you got to go to my 600-pound life.
Fat chicks need love too. Look, we just got big enough to measure Tess Holiday's weight.
Oh yes.
But see, that's it. Look, Christina. See, like I said, Christina Hendricks qualifies as thick or curvy. There is no sane person who would go, she's fat.
We're classy.
There's no rolls. There's no. I mean, think about it. No one in this chat. I want someone to name someone. Then, if someone says Drex, Melissa McCarthy, that's horrible. Then name them. Name a Hollywood celebrity who's considered fat. What are you gonna say? What, Queen Latifah? You know, she's les. So Queen Latifah, I think she's les. So who? There's, if you look at fat celebrities, I consider Tess fat. Oh, of course, everyone considers Tess should consider herself fat.
Oh, yeah. Lolly, you're exempted. I'm talking about the average lady who's selling her friend to you. That's the
Roseanne, the fat vet from Blade. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Okay, so Mark C says, speaking of strippers, I knew Stormy Daniels when she danced by her real name Stephanie in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
Stormy Daniels, does she have a horse face?
Ooh, that question.
Did you see Trump tweet?
I heard about it.
Her horse face?
I heard about it.
Funniest thing.
Hold on now. Look. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. If the question is, does she have a horse face? Yes.
Yeah.
Because someone said that the porn star Sarah J looks like Joe Camel, and she was on Vlad TV in an interview, and I mean, you know,
I don't know who Sarah J is, but I know who Joe Camel is. My brain just I was like, who the hell is Joe?
And then you think of the mascot, and you go like this,
and I was like, oh, come on,
yeah, come on, like a lot of things, you know, like a lot of humor is considered funny because it's inappropriate. So that's the reason why when you say, wait, Lena Dunham, I know that name. Is that a comedian?
Lena Dunham,
dude.
Oh,
who is that,
buddy? This is
Lena.
You might have to go find this person and fight them for that.
Lena Dunham, who is that?
This is gross. Look at that. That's
isn't she like a wannabe comedian or something?
Yeah, she's not funny.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah.
She's homeless.
Yeah, it's terrible. Here's what I'll say about the Lena Dunham thing. Okay, look, understand this about for those people talking about the fat chick thing. Understand this. Everyone knows the rules with fat girls. Look, Kathleen Turner, she got fugly. She used to be hot back in the day.
Hey, they got a Kathleen Turner in there. You should got a shout out right here, Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, no, seriously, like Kathleen, like I didn't know that Kathleen Turner had fallen. You know, she hit the wall hard. But back to Melissa McCarthy and a lot of these other people. Understand this. Everyone knows the fat chick rule. She has to have a great face. Does Melissa McCarthy have a great face? No. But you wouldn't, based on just the face alone, would you consider Melissa McCarthy unattractive? Just face. I would say no.
No, I think she's a pretty lady.
She's a pretty. She's just big.
There are people who, you know, there's genetic dispositions.
Yep.
We're not all fat shaming here, and she's a little bigger. That doesn't. But she's a pretty and distinguished woman, we'll say.
Yeah, and the other thing is proportions. So what is like the Drexel's Patreon? I don't have any. I'm not even a social media guy. People keep telling me to, but
okay. Tillip says, F, marry, kill Tess Holiday, Roseanne, and the fat vamp from Blade. So we missed the context of that. Okay. So it's bang, marry, kill. You pick one for each. You have to pick Tess Holiday, Roseanne, and the fat vamp from Blade.
Okay, so
one you bang, one you're stuck with for the rest of your life, and one you get to kill off.
Come on, man. Okay. Here we go.
And bearing in mind the fat vamp from Blade is going to turn you, and so you're going to be stuck with her for eternity if you marry her.
Mm-hmm. So we kill her.
Okay, so she's dead.
Yep. So we kill a fat one from Blade. We marry Tess Holiday.
Now, she's going to eat you out of house and home.
I'm banking on Tess keeling over soon. No, you can.
Diabetes.
Yeah. You can reverse Tess and Roseanne, because if you just smash one, like if someone says, "Oh, good, look, you can marry Roseanne, then divorce her, get some of that Roseanne money." Now I know her was it the redux of the show was about to take off. It had like 17 million viewers, and then they asked her for her allegedly racist comments, but yeah.
Okay, so you marry Tess Holiday, kill the fat vampire, and you bang Roseanne.
Someone put Medea. Someone put Oprah. Rosie.
No, but we're talking. This is our option. So
okay.
So I just want to clarify for the record, for the Earth.
Okay.
You murder the fat vampire from Blade.
Yep.
The
other two are interchangeable, but like okay, so if I have to,
do you bang it out with Roseanne or do you bang it out with Tess Holiday? And which one do you marry? Because you could be a cuck.
Damn.
You could be a vol cuck.
Oh man, like you're screwed either way. Like, well, okay, so if I marry Tess, here's the thing though. If Tess lost the weight, she wouldn't be ugly. She's just fat.
Well,
Roseanne,
we don't know that.
No, like you can look at like just face and stuff and go like this. Okay, if she lost the weight, you'd have to lose a hell of a lot of money in surgeries to get rid of all that excess. A lot of money. It'd be like someone saying, "Would you marry Oprah?" It's like, okay, so if you marry Oprah, now your life is taken care of. Okay, well, yeah. So see, you see where I'm going with that? Like if you marry someone, like if you marry Roseanne or Tess, who's rich, and with Tess, you just keep feeding her cake until she keels over.
The question is, are open relationships on the table?
Okay, so now we're going
like that makes
that's true. Yeah.
You just married the rich.
Yeah, that's true. Because okay, if we're just saying it has to be monogamy, you got to look her in the eyes every time. No turn away. No imagining someone else. You gotta
be committed to it.
Yeah, be committed to it. Man, that's rough, man.
So Cormoran says Trump equal Lone Ranger, Stormy equals Silver, and Warren equals Tonto.
Well, look, Kathy Bates. But okay, look. Now you're getting into what I was saying. Look, you don't have that many options. Queen Latifah.
They got Jennifer Tilly.
She was the chick who was like, she kind of like a little like goth kind of look. I think she had like the weird voice too.
I don't know.
Very like fair skinned, if I recall.
Okay, but I want to get back. Like I want to get off the fat chick.
Okay, yeah, we're off fat chicks. Okay.
I want to get off the fat chick. We're back to Trump because I have questions. So he tweets out. So this is in the context. I don't know if you saw.
Glory treatment.
So Stormy Daniels.
Okay, Stormy Daniels.
She sues Trump for a tweet. is a bad lawsuit.
Terrible.
Like anybody looking at this goes, that's not defamation.
Correct.
You're going to lose this case. Except for Michael Avenatti, her scumbag of a lawyer. Anyway, so she loses and now has to pay Trump's attorney's fees.
Yep.
Now Trump is also talking about going after her on anti-slap in Texas is what it looks like. Which means he can sue her for trying to silence his free speech. But that's the context of him calling her horseface. He's reacting to the news that he just won in court, and now he calls her horseface. But prior to that, you know, she's been making fun of Trump's penis size for the past year. Okay, so is it appropriate or inappropriate for a sitting president to call a woman a horseface?
He's making his own rules. More so than any president that we've seen in our own lifetime. I was born in '82. So he's making his own rules of how he's going to conduct himself. And it's working for him. I can't knock somebody that, like, you know, like, whether you agree or disagree, if something works for someone, then it works for someone. Like, you can, like, there are people out there who say Obama would have never done it or George Bush would have never done it, but that's them.
Right.
You know, Slick Willie, a.k.a. William Clinton, was accused of all kinds of sexual misconduct before, during, and now after his presidency, from what I've heard. And, yeah, you know.
Like, because the rules are out.
The rules, yeah.
Trump threw them out.
He threw them out. He's like, I don't have to be this, you know, have to have the decorum of presidents pass.
And no matter what, for me, no matter what anybody thinks of Trump, because I have not been a fan of Trump's, some of his statements on the campaign trail. On balance, as president, I mean, economy's up. Things seem to be going okay for most people, or getting better for a lot of people. I kind of like some of the stuff he's doing on foreign relations. So, you know, he's doing fine for me as a president. He said some things on the campaign trail that really bothered me about privacy, about free speech, but those haven't really manifested into action. So I maintain some reservations, but on balance, Trump's doing okay for me job-wise. But whatever anybody thinks about Trump, I think we all owe him a thank you for never apologizing, because we got to stop the apologies.
Correct. In general, there's not really much of a reason to apologize for something you say unless it is directly at that person because it truly offended a person. When you start talking about groups of people, it gets tough because, kind of like with Dan Snyder, the Washington Redskins owner, with the namesake, there are some, from what I hear, there are Native Americans who are okay with it.
I think the majority probably just don't care.
Yeah, they either say yay, some don't care at all, and then you have this percentage who say nay. So someone goes, so what's the right answer? It's like, but what do you say when you have some? Because like with most things, there's going to be division based on people's own personal viewpoints, passions, prejudices, things of that nature. So what does it matter? You know, like okay, so what's the right answer? If you live your life based on what is going to be personally or socially acceptable to others, you're not even going to live your own life. You're just basically just be out there to try to appease people. You're going to basically appease no one. And
you're going to be one of the betas who ends up beating people out of frustration, beating women.
And you're going to be a cuck.
Yeah.
You're going to get cucked. Look, Red's going to use the term of endearment.
Okay, so I have to get to something. The Diggus mentioned that I missed his previous super chat. Also, how can you say face is important and then mention Melissa McCarthy? So he's hating on Melissa.
He's hating. Okay, look. Okay, hold on. Just for the record, just Google Melissa McCarthy and just check face.
I can't Google Melissa McCarthy. It's blocked on my computer.
Is it? Oh, please! I'm upset.
Okay. But I did miss his super chat. It's right here. It says, thank you, the Diggits. It says, congrats on the 10,000 subscribers, or the 10K. Try and pronounce my favorite whiskey brand. Now, I will do this because it was actually the first whiskey I ever bought. It was Oakentoshan. That's pronounced Oakentoshan, believe it or not, because the Scottish are weird. It says, greetings and much love from Germany. Thanks, buddy. Greetings right back to you from America. So that's that. We're caught up on that. Okay, so
look at this guy. Face is important, but so are paper bags. That's great. That's classic.
So the hairstyle is all that ends up matters. All that ends up mattering, right? The hairstyle from the back.
Or her neckline.
You can, okay, so talk to me about the headshot hairstyle. You know the headshot hairstyle, right? The hair down on women. Mm-hmm. The hair down, swoop to the side, and then spikes out the back.
No, you know what? There's actually a name for that now. It's called, if you guys were to Google, white mom mixed kids haircut. I'm not even joking. If Nick can just bring it up, this is literally what pops up. And I know this because I know a white mom with mixed kids who took. Show them. Is that not the truth? Like, for all my black guys in the chat, look at those images.
Hold on.
Everyone knows that.
Ad existing. I think it's this one. There it is.
Yeah, everyone. Okay, if you're a black guy in the chat or you got black friends or whatever, I mean, you got one.
Number one result, y'all.
Number one result. Look, everyone knows. Look, show them the little side one right there. The white mom mixed kids haircut. Everyone knows. If you're a black guy and you see that haircut, look, I'm a single mom with mixed kids hair. This is well known in the black community, man. Let's just go ahead and keep it real. Yep. If we're out and you got black guys out there prowling, the thirst, and they look for a thirst trap, and they're like, oh man, this is one of the nights. You know what I'm saying? It's Thirsty Thursday, and they see that, they slide in. We already know what it is.
All right. What's your best pickup line though?
Never had one.
Oh, come on.
Never had one.
But if you had to pick one. Okay, so I'll preface. Dick Masterson's favorite pickup line is, tell me about your shoes. Mm-hmm. And then he follows up that question eventually with, what's your relationship with your dad like? Because they're win-win questions. Mm-hmm. So what is your go-to line? So you're at the club. You see...
I don't do clubs, though.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical. Okay, hypothetical.
You're at the club. Mom with mixed kids haircut walks in. She's looking good. What's the line?
No, you comment on the haircut. You could. I mean, she already knows the deal. Like I said, like for all of you guys in the chat who want to know, just their own personal story, I've never used a pickup line because if you are traveling and you are going to be out in a climate where you want to meet women, just bring women. No one attracts more women than women. And if any of you guys in the chat are from Portland, they'll know. I was just at a place called Sanctuary. And for those people in the chat who know what Sanctuary is, they know it goes down. You show up there and things got weird real quick. It was bondage and kink night when we went, and we didn't know that. So now
Isn't that every night in Portland?
Right? So we show up to a place called Sanctuary. We roll in, and we started. When you see things you can't unsee, and I went in there with my friend, female, and her two female friends, and they're all dressed, with the look. And you walk in, and people start coming at you because you are a tall, dark, and handsome man with 3 attractive white females. So people are going to engage with you. If you show up there and it's a sausage, and you're in a sausage fest, you and your 3 buddies, come on, man, that's a stiff leg party. You can't do that.
Yeah, and that's
un-American.
That's too imposing.
It is unless you are at a place where a woman's looking for that, but otherwise, no, man. You especially if you are physically imposing. Women are kind of like, ooh, you could. That's how you get me too. Women get scared. I get it. If I were the average woman's size is what, 5'5"? So if you're a 5'5" woman,
you're like 5'7" though. You're pretty tall.
if you're the average, you
guys don't realize I had to put him up on some. I had to put him up on some phone books so he'd look bigger. I'm not tall or dark. Yes, you are. Incels, ain't you know Andrew Gluck. Remember, you met Andrew Gluck, I think.
Have I?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He lives in he lives in somewhere in Minnesota.
Don't dox.
Delete that.
Oh yeah. Oh look. So this guy, the Sloth Father again. Lesbians are great wingmen. Absolutely. You know what? I actually have gotten along very well with lesbians. Very well, exceptionally well. And here goes a little keynote out there for those who don't know. You want to talk about social constructs? A lot of lesbianism is social construct.
Okay, so Milo Yiannopoulos. Are you familiar with Milo?
I'm aware of the name.
Yeah.
And I hear he's controversial for whatever reason.
He's super gay.
Okay.
But he's also, like, if there is an alt-right, I think Milo would identify himself as part of the alt-right. But anyway, so Milo is a gay Jewish man with a preference for black men.
Okay. So
okay.
Dahmer-ish.
But 100% Republican.
Okay.
So he's got the invincibility armor +5, right?
Yeah. He's, you know what, and you know they talk about the modern movement of intersectionality, and stacking is another term for it that we talked about before. And if you got your bases covered on stacking and stuff, like, you know, everyone wants to, you know, be the victim now. As you start stacking all these things, like, oh, if someone says, I'm so oppressed because I'm black. Well, someone goes, well, I'm black and woman. Oh, damn. I'm black trans woman. Damn. Right. I'm black trans woman and an amputee. Like, you know, whatever it is.
Milo isn't the alt-right. Sorry. Guys, you gotta, like, I'm coming at this from the normie perspective. So, he's alt-light. Thank you, Zidane.
Oh, he's married to a black guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so Milo will say that lesbians are fake and the only real homosexuality is men. And he'll say that lesbians are basically, like, they're preferring women, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. They're choosing that, but there is no woman who is sexually attracted exclusively to women. That's Milo's argument.
Okay. Now, that may be true. I would say that statement is maybe 90% true. And the reason why I say 90% and not the full 100% is this. Oh. There are going to be women who will say, I have never been attracted to men. I just, that's, you know, even 1 out of 10 may be pushing it. However, with a lot of sexuality comes from a social construct, in the sense of people have turned certain ways, whether it be to the trans community or the gay or whatever, because of rejection. And you see that in the black community, where a lot of black guys who swirl, which means they go with white women, or anyone that's non-black, but primarily that's referring to white women.
Miscegenation.
Right? So one of the main reasons for that is usually they got curved by black women. So when they got curved, they were like, well, hey, I still like women, who's available. So as they start, whether it be rising up the corporate ladder or whatever, they're going to find more white women. So then that's the direction they go. So black was their original preferred, because human beings in general have a sense of tribalism. We prefer people that look like us. That
How
look like our
dare
parents.
you?
Right?
What are you talking about? There's no evidence of this. There's no only all of history evidence of this.
Yeah. For those people who are getting triggered, whooping Young Blue.
That was the dude I threw off the stream.
Oh, that guy.
For being an uncouth vagrant on my channel. And this channel is not for uncouth vagrants.
Oh, so who is that? Mega Monsters. Actually, does the black community really hate gays? It is very frowned upon in the black community. And the thing about it is that's also why in the black community there's a huge DL movement. So if any of you guys in the chat want to Google AIDS Atlanta, it is the same as a third world country for all the down low activity that's going on. It's gotten that bad. Atlanta is the black man Frisco. The black man San Francisco. It has gotten, like AIDS has gotten rampant. A lot of STDs. And STDs in general have risen dramatically with all of this cucking and everything else that's going on. And, you know, women being more sexually promiscuous and saying, I want my sexual revolution to go full steam. I can do what a man can do. And, you know, the rise of online dating, the Tinder app.
Right.
Dude, no one's dating anymore. Remember last time I was here? Remember you and I had that conversation? I said,
yeah.
For those who don't know, like I said, I'm proud of Nick for being a married man and stuff. I was against it, and we've talked about this even back when we were in college. I was against it, and I wasn't against it personally.
No,
I was against it in terms of principle. I said, this is what the system is against men in marriage. You wind up having a kid with no prenup and stuff. This is what could happen to you.
Right.
I'm glad it's working thus far. I hope it works till you guys die. But I will say this. In the modern era, because of what has happened between gynocentrism and the family court system, and now with the online dating, most guys, you hear the expression, they say, why would I buy the cow when I can get the milk for free?
Right.
You're seeing it now, man. For the guys in the comment section who know about what's going on out there with, dating and the dating market, it's terrible. I would hate to be a person out there in the dating market looking for like a long-term partner and stuff. Because everyone's got side pieces. Men and women have got side pieces now. Like everyone's swiping left and right, without their partner's consent or looking for the next best thing, which is hypergamy. And in the end, you do get played. There's no reason to do it for either side.
I literally have no idea how you would date today.
In the modern era, I wouldn't suggest anyone do it.
Truth be told, I didn't know how to date back in the day. I'm sure I
you
got
lucky.
It wrong.
You just got lucky.
Yeah.
Which does happen. Is that a milk thing?
It's a bunch of glasses of milk.
Oh, look, keep having kids.
Okay, guys, I gotta. We didn't forget about the SWAT story in Lakeville.
Oh God, the SWAT. Yeah.
I don't know if I can take it because so if you're not aware, I had knee surgery yesterday. And it has not started hurting until now. And it's starting to be kind of painful. Mark C says, so gay guys have F@G hags. Does that make a guy that gets along with lesbians a lesbro?
Lesbro. You know what, though? I've always believed this, though. If you just come at people and treat them with respect and dignity, like, you're going to be cool with people even that... I've actually had people who say that they don't necessarily... like me, but they respect me, and usually just because they're like, whether it be my views or just the way I am, they're like, I'm not cool with the way you are, but like I get it, you have your own views, but I don't step on their views. Like usually when you just do that, you're cool. You don't have to be. You shouldn't even want a bunch of friends. You and I talk about this in high school when people talk about how many friends they had. It's like, so what? You want to be the person who has 80 friends? How many of those people are really your friend?
Right.
I mean, come on,
You should have friends you can rely on.
Friends you can rely on. And look, when things get rough, you're going to see who's really there. Just like going back to that lesbianism thing. Okay, in Venezuela, how many lesbians do you think are out there right now? Now the resources are gone.
0.
There's Maduro with all the resources, the government.
So Maduro's a lesbian.
Maduro's
you
got
heard it
all
here.
the
Maduro
resources.
is a lesbian.
Maduro's got all the resources. And who's talking all that, that kind of thing? I don't think you really, I would like to see. So with prostitution running rampant, they go to the neighboring countries. Okay, show me, and it goes back to what I said about it being more of a social construct, which is a lot of the dating market is based on, it's almost like a presidential term, your approval rating. The higher your approval rating, the more that you can have access to different types of women. So as a man, the more money and resources you get, the more access you have to more beautiful women. That is a fact. You can be the ugliest, fattest, most grotesque dude on earth. You're a billionaire, you're going to have access to beautiful women, period.
Yeah, a friend of mine, this is back when the Trump grab them by the pussy comment came out. Mm-hmm. And everybody acted like this was the worst thing that anybody could ever say. That, yep. Which is funny because... the point I brought up was Trump didn't say that to a bunch of people. He said it to Billy Burke, who absolutely knows that already, right? Like as an attractive celebrity man, Billy Burke employs probably a similar strategy. Sorry to dox your tactics, Billy Burke, and I don't care how much you lie about it. It doesn't matter. Trump didn't offend anybody with that comment. That comment only offended people after it was published by someone else to an audience it was never intended for.
Correct.
But I had a friend who quickly came out, and this is a Bernie guy. This is a Bernie supporter. And he defended Trump immediately. He said billionaires have different sex lives than everybody else on the planet.
Absolutely.
And he talked about a woman he knew who went on a date with a billionaire. And she was at her apartment or whatever. She got picked up by the limo. The limo drove her to the billionaire's house. She walked up. Limo driver opens the door. He's waiting for her. And he says, are we going to have sex now or are we going to have sex after dinner? And then she says, well, let's do now then. So they went. They had sex. They had dinner, a great dinner, and then they went back, and he said thank you. It was a nice time, and she never heard from him again. She rode home in the limo, and she never heard from him again. Billionaires have different lives.
Correct.
And then, of course, different sex lives than the rest of us. There's just no comparison. They have completely different. Billy Bush, sorry.
Who did you say?
I said Billy Burke.
Oh, okay.
I was combining him and Brooke Burke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, her. Brooke Burke.
But, okay. But anyways, guys, I think I need to end the stream because my leg is throbbing.
Oh, poor thing.
And it's, I'm working on not like showing it, but it's getting really difficult. I got to get it up and get some ice on it. But last question for you. Woke take on get woke, right? Woke take on pedophilia. Because I see pedophilia everywhere these days. It's cropping up in all these different circles. I don't know if you know anything about the furry community.
I'm aware of it.
Big pedo stuff going on in the furry community. You got pedos all over the place. So what's up with pedos?
Now, I've been hearing, this was a few years ago, I had a much older guy tell me something about, and I thought it was a joke at the time. He said there was a movement, basically, that there's a push for people who are, I guess, pedo sympathizers, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
Or enablers.
Are you a pedo sympathizer, Drexel?
No. Anyone who has children or knows children, you know what? It says a lot about you. If you believe that's okay, and if you believe you're okay with your child or, you know, niece and nephews or whoever, or just neighborhood kids being, you know, molested or having relations with people who are, you know, legal adults and much older, hey, wow, it says quite a bit about you. But this whole thing about it being okay, creepy. I mean, I've heard of certain pushes about, like, you know, people saying like they need help or this and that. I've talked to people who have actually been in the penal system, and they say of all the types of inmates who are the highest rate of reoffending are pedophilias, the pedophiles. So people out there who are doing stuff with children or whatever, then if you think letting them back out into the world, like what rehabilitation are you going to give them?
So what do we do to pedos?
Well,
what should we do to pedos?
Some people say that you should isolate. Well, first of all,
now we're talking about. So let's be clear, because there are levels of pedophilia. Like, correct, there's child porn.
Yep.
Okay, and then we're talking about what do we do with a person who actually legally rapes. Well, I mean,
sodomized
under the legal definition,
or what? Okay,
there's penetration of a child. What do we do with that person? Do we just shoot him on the spot?
No, I don't know. Like, would that work? Yeah, maybe it would scare away certain people. But from what I have seen, and if any of you guys remember that show, To Catch a Predator, To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen, where they would come and gang tackle him and stuff.
Have a seat over here.
Why don't you have a seat right there? All right. And dudes would sit in the chair looking all creepy. And I don't think there is a true way to, because you got to remember this, though. Do you remember what kind of people they were catching as time went on? They weren't catching just nobodies. They started catching people who, I think there was like a rabbi on there once.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes deep. So for those of you...
Well, statistically, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So if it's everywhere...
Apple has as many pedos as everybody else.
Right? Well, everyone
Apple's
does.
Full of pedos. So is Google.
Well,
Apple and Google, they got pedos coming out the walls. Don't trust them. They're raping kids.
If you just look at the types of things that are going on right now with, you know, like you said, the pedo thing that's going on, and all, you know, people talk about wokeness and stuff. First of all, there's a lot of people that are going to go broke trying to be woke, you know, and this whole, you know, I support pedophilia because my thing is what is the end game? Because there was a time before the sexual revolution, and when feminism was really pushing for, you know, women to have, you know, this sexual revolution, there was a time when you need one of two things to keep hypergamy in check, to keep sex in check. You need the state, or you need religion.
Right.
So if you wind up in a situation where, the state is encouraging it and religion doesn't shame it anymore, what comes next? So at one point it was adults having sex. Then, opposite sex. Then it became gay sex. Then it becomes, pansexual sex. Then it becomes, child sex, if people want to go that route. Then it becomes what? Bestiality? Animal sex? For those of you who remember the Clerks 2 scene with Kinky Kelly and the sexy stud, you don't want to see it go that direction. But where does it stop?
In the furry community, they had a big leak of of private chat groups, and turns out some very prominent furry YouTubers were raping puppies to the point where they murdered the dogs in the process.
Wow.
What do you even do with that person?
I didn't even know that. That goes in what I just said. There's a natural progression to sex and sexuality. It's like most things. When something is left unchecked, it will always end in depravity. It's the same reason why you look at if someone starts making too much money, you ever notice people start to seem to always go down the wrong route? Like they start going, either making too much or not making enough, right? They start going down this path over here into something that's usually illegal, usually unethical and immoral. And why is that? That is the natural, a cycle of where humans tend to go. So you start getting with animals, and then what? I
don't know where you move on after murder raping puppies.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're doing this to,
it seems like that's
firing squad. Puppy lives matter. Necrodegenerates. Like, whoa, where did that just come from? The slippery slope term was used for a reason. It can get really dark because now think about it. There was a time when, people had slaves, obviously when slavery was legal, and people used their slaves for sex.
Right.
And now we're talking about, you and I were talking about earlier with...
Like Tim Cook at Apple. That's a joke,
Here
Tim.
you go, Tim Cook. We were talking earlier about the sex trade.
Yeah.
And how that has permeated throughout, not just America, but the rest of the world with all of this whole degeneracy of people, with the human trafficking and all that stuff. And, they're taking the most vulnerable people and all that. Before you know it, things don't, like I said, things don't always go the way people think they go. I think sometimes people are just like, well, this small thing, who cares? Who's going to know? And eventually it will affect you. It doesn't affect you in the ways that you think it will. Like, you just said the other day that it was some car pulled up, an Oldsmobile pulls up.
Yeah.
And, they were trying to lure kids into a car.
Yep. Right outside my house.
Yeah. So.
Less than a mile away.
And what was it? So they were alleged sex traffickers? Is that what?
Who knows why they were they were taking kids. Oh. That was their goal, taking kids.
And when it comes to that, okay, so anyone in the chat would know, if someone wants to lure children, what are you, the Pied Piper or whatever, like, what are you luring them for? It's nothing good. It's nothing good. What else would you be luring them for? Yeah. So if you just base it on that, then you should know, hey, this is bad. And if you know it's bad, people should be saying, we need to rally against this. So if your question originally was, what should we do? You can have as much legal authority as you want to try to minimize crimes of that nature. But at the end of the day, people are still going to do it. To catch a predator was catching guys that, they did it, got caught, and then what happened? They went back and reoffended, right? Like the next day, it was like, oh, I'm sorry again. And I think there was a pastor. Do you remember who that was? Who was he was caught with a prostitute, and then he did the whole, may God forgive me. I made a horrible mistake. I've sinned. I'll never do it again. And of course, it happened again and again. Because in a sense, you will never take away human wants, human needs, and instincts. So if the instinct is there, the thought is there, they're always going to do it. So if someone says, okay, so you kill them, then what? Kill who? How do you know these people? So what happens when they're at high office? Then what do you do? What happens when a senator gets busted?
Let me teach you a Latin phrase, my friend. Sic semper tyrannis. Death to tyrants.
Yeah.
We need to be shouting it in the streets these days, in my opinion. Sic semper tyrannis. And the tyrants they're not the guys on top of government. They're the guys in all the layers between us and the top of government. Because that's where the tyranny is. It's the local, the county stuff, the soil and water stuff. Oh my gosh. I could go on for days on this stuff. I hate it. Let me read these two chats and then we gotta end it because I'm about to die.
Poor thing.
Cormoran says, Salon was pro-pedo until they went after Milo. Yeah, Milo made a statement, Milo Yiannopoulos. This is why his career ended. Because he basically said that he had sex well before he was 18, and he believed that he was old enough to give consent. So they took that statement and warped it into kids are old enough to give
Of course. Yeah, that whole thing.
Okay, so Trey now Milo has turned into kind of a chump lately. So I'm not like defending Milo, but that they did him wrong. Trey Y says slippery rise over run needs to go. So he's not a fan of the slippery slope argument. But all right, guys, I gotta shut it down. We gotta shut it down.
Yeah.
I will of course invite Drexel back on anytime he wants, but it's all a matter of logistics. Thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for listening to us, and thanks for having me. This is the first time I've ever been on any of this social media stuff since I'm pretty low key, man.
Yeah.
I lay real low, so
you better lay low. Nate Dogg said so.
Okay. He's dead now.
Nate Dogg died?
Nate Dogg died, man. Shame for, when you need a hook in hip hop, you went to Nate Dogg.
He better lay low.
And just like that, Nate Dogg took an L, the permanent L. So he died. It was a few years back, and I remember everyone was like, "Damn, Nate!" Like he was young.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I remember it. But I wouldn't have otherwise because I was just singing "Lay Low" walking back from my neighbor's house the other week.
Yeah, man. Nate Dogg went ahead and his dog days were numbered, man. That dude went ahead and got laid up in the casket. Damn shame.
All right, guys. Thanks a whole bunch. Thanks
again, everybody.
We're gonna blank out and end
Hope
the
everybody has a good night, good morning, or afternoon, wherever they are in the world.
Yeah, peace out, y'all. Share this with your friends. Share it with your friends.
Share, like, subscribe, give Nick money.
Yeah, do all the shill stuff. I don't have any shill stuff on the screen right now, but do all the shill stuff for me, please. Anyway, here's to the next 10,000 and then the 100,000 that come next.
Good deal.
Peace out, y'all.